Right, are you ready to start the show?
No, not really, Dave. I'm just finished an 11-hour shift. I'm tired. I'm beat up. I'm still haven't recovered yet from last week.
Are you sure now? There's cocaine in it.
What?
I said we're going to talk about WrestleMania.
Oh, well then let's do the show.
Yeah.
The face that runs the place.
Long live living.
Goodbye and good night. Bam!
Fresh from WrestleMania weekend, welcome to another edition of The Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides right here on 90.3 Near FM, on all good podcasting providers, and on the EMC Podcast Network. I am Dave Cullen, and I'm joined by Braun's second choice tag partner, Daragh Maher. Daragh, I mean, how are you this afternoon? You don't look in the best of moods.
Nope.
This close.
Nicholas was not meant to be a threat. He was not meant to pick Nicholas. He was meant to pick me.
I don't know what to say.
That's why I wasn't at the party, Dave.
Oh.
I was secretly backstage waiting to be picked by Braun.
Wait, well, that's the first problem, because if you were backstage and he was in the crowds...
But he was meant to say, here's my partner, and point to the stage. You know, the classic, here's my partner, point to the stage.
Oh, so you were supposed to make an entrance,
yes,
right?
and then I walk out, yeah. I had Danger Zone as my team tune and everything. It was perfect.
Wait a minute.
I had my black turtleneck and everything. I had my night vision goggles too.
They had your gold necklace and your blue jeans and your puffy haircut. Because it sounds, as soon as you mentioned black...
Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. You've never watched Archer before, have you?
I was going to say Marky Maivia back in the day, but...
No. You've never watched Archer. If you watched Archer, you'd know what I'm talking about.
I know of Archer, but I don't know enough about it. So I'm one of those guys. I'm not great with TVs. You know this.
Danger Zone.
Anyway, we're coming to you from the FM studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolock, and I'll be here talking about the latest news, results, previews, rumours and more from the world of professional wrestling. We have a lot to talk about this week, reviewing all the past week's action.
I think some stuff happened last week.
Quite a lot of stuff happened, yeah.
Are you sure?
From the likes
I thought it was quiet.
Well, there's stuff from Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor 12.
Okay.
NXT Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Not Los Angeles, New Orleans, excuse me. WWE, something called WrestleMania happens. And all the stuff afterwards.
Never heard of it before.
We'll also be previewing events coming up from the likes of OTT, Wrestling.ie, Low Blows, PW and CCW. All that to come, but first we're going to start, as always, with the news.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone.
We're going to start with news concerning New Japan Pro Wrestling and Zack Sabre Jr., who has signed a new deal with the company. It's been reported that Sabre has headed to New Japan Pro Wrestling full-time after recently signing a new contract. He's been with the promotion for the last year and has gotten a big push in the past few months, defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi at the New Japan Cup and then challenging Kazuchika Okada at one of New Japan's biggest spring events, Sakura Genesis. Sabre lost the Evolve Championship to Matt Riddle in New Orleans on April 5th. In a video posted by the Evolve Twitter account, Sabre said he's stepping away from the promotion for now, but is sure he'll be back one day. Also during the week as well, he also lost the Ref Pro Undisputed British Heavyweight title to Tomohiro Ishii. He has held both titles for now well over a year before losing them last weekend. It also reports that it doesn't necessarily mean Sabre will no longer be doing independent dates going forward, but his focus now will be New Japan. Obviously this applies to him coming to OTT here in Dublin on May 12th, so but credit to him because he's done so well since he's become a regular now, certainly since he's joined Suzuki Gun.
Exactly, I think he's the bar, maybe the Bucks and Kenny, the hottest import that they've had.
Oh, by far.
In the last year.
He's certainly their hottest import, I think. You could argue their hottest import at the moment in New Japan. It includes Kenny and Cody.
I think Kenny would shade just for a little bit, just for obviously reuniting the Golden Lovers.
It's between. You can even make a shout for Jay White as well, considering he's coming in and won the US title as well. So, but he's definitely up there. No, you're probably right. Is Kenny probably still up there? But he's up. He is up there at the same time. So
yeah,
especially because of how class his matches have been as well. His style suits Japan so well.
Exactly. And I think, like, obviously he's saying he's stepping away from the certain promotions for a while.
Yeah.
I think that's solely because with the G1 coming up, I think he's going to be taking part in that. So I think his time is going to be focused on that more than anything else.
He's had a huge history with Evolve as well. He's involved in a lot of their long-term storylines, like especially leading up to how he became champion as well. He had like a long-term rivalry with or at least hints of rivals with guys like Keith Lee, Chris Hero at the time, and Timothy Thatcher, who was their champion before that.
Yeah.
And so so if he's trying to find the time away from Evolve or New Japan expensive Evolve, it must be seriously full time. So
exactly. Well, it is that's what you get from a full time contract.
That's it.
And I'm delighted by that. Like, I think he was offered a WWE contract.
Oh, was he?
After the Cruiserweight.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Classic, but he turned it down, wasn't it? Because he wanted to keep working the Indies, and I think obviously New Japan must have been sniffing around at the time. So delighted by that.
Well, I think what's to Sabre Jr.'s credit as well is how he's able to probably smartly analyse the whole picture. He probably looked at WWE and thought, yeah, I could do this.
Yeah. I think out of any wrestler at the moment, he is probably the closest to breaking kayfabe than anyone else. He just skews that line perfectly, where he keeps it, but he also brings in the realism of certain aspects of wrestling too. In terms of, like, I said it before, but some of his promos are brilliant, especially the one with Kota Ibushi when he says,
"I was going to move out the way.
If you're going to flip off the top of the balcony, I'm going to move. I'm not going to stand there and wait for you like most guys." Yeah. He kind of skews the line between like kayfabe and reality and stuff.
That's true, yeah.
Which I really, really like too. I really appreciate that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the way kayfabe is nowadays. It's more linked to reality more than how I love the place it was or how sacred it was, certainly in the 80s and 90s.
Exactly.
So he's probably the prime example of how he seems like a fine balance. Like his realism is in how he talks and how he presents himself, but then again, how he presents himself is also very traditional. There isn't too many. I don't see too many wrestlers like him. Certainly, someone of his age that has a similar approach to him. Or certainly in terms of how he presents himself. If that makes sense. So, but yeah, all credit to him. And this could mean as well. You could be give more opportunities for him in terms of titles as well. Certainly, if he was pushed and if he got the gig if he got the opportunity to win the New Japan Cup, he could easily be a favourite there going forward for the G1 as well.
Exactly, he's definitely one of the favourites. He was in G1 last year. He did quite well. Had a few losses now, but
he had a mixed record. So
for his first year, it was a really good record.
Yeah,
and the fact that the way his wrestling style is built, it's built towards him because 9 times out of 10 he's going to be the smaller guy when it comes to a G1 match as well. So
probably will be the smallest guy outright in the whole tournament.
I think he probably will be, yeah.
Between him and Tai Chi, if he's in the tournament as well.
Tai Chi's a good show,
actually. But Tai Chi's a big junior heavyweight as well. So it's between those two. Anyway, we'll move on in the meantime. Some news concerning WWE and their UK division.
Yes, the WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament is returning this summer. Triple H announced that a United Kingdom Championship Tournament will be taking place at Royal Albert Hall in London, England on June 18th and 19th. Whether this is the same project that was billed as King of the Ring during commercial for the upcoming network at last week's Hall of Fame ceremony wasn't made clear. Just an update to that, it actually was made clear. That is the King of the Ring.
Oh, sorry.
So the King of the Ring is going to face Pete Dunne for the title.
I think at the time it just said that the promo, I just had promo for King of the Ring as opposed to linking it with the UK tournament, so that's probably why.
Yeah. Of course, the first UK Championship took place in Blackpool across 2 days in January 2017 and it aired live on the WWE Network, concluding with Tyler Bate defeating Pete Dunne in the finals to become the first ever WWE UK Championship. Pete Dunne, of course, now holds the title after winning it from Bate at NXT Chicago last May. The 2 days for the tournament fall on a Monday and Tuesday. It will again feature wrestlers from WWE UK's division. I wonder, I'm guessing it'll probably be a 16-man tournament again.
Right.
I wonder if they will change it up this year and get some other guys in.
I imagine so. Like, it's. I think it hinted that they're going to have like the same names or some names that were indeterminate last year, but
I would imagine the likes of Tucker and Jordan will be involved.
Well, let's bear in mind as well that they had a few British names involved at WrestleMania Access. Who can say that maybe they'll be involved in this tournament as well? Zack Gibson, for example. He's a very good shout to being in that as well. Like
Zack Gibson, Shaw Samuels as well. I think should be a good show.
Yeah, was Shaw Samuels in the?
He wasn't in it last year.
Was he in WrestleMania Access? I mean,
no. But he's a good show to be in it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course, there's Joe Coffey as well.
Yes. Oh God, yeah. Who else would I? Yeah, like immediately I look at maybe Scotland or Progress, like or RICW in Progress because they have Ligero. Yeah,
I think he'd get over really.
Does his character, because his character is not British?
I know, but he is. Okay, let's break kayfabe for a second.
Yeah.
You know,
he is. I know.
You know.
What about Flash Morgan Webster?
It's a good show.
That's a very good show.
That's a very good show. Yeah. Should we consider the maybe non-UK wrestlers but reside in the UK?
Well, that's different.
Like a Travis Banks. Like the rules don't, like we've seen with how NXT has used the title, that it's the UK Championship is not only for UK wrestlers. We've had Roderick Strong.
It's essentially a European title.
Yeah, it is. So maybe they should open the lines there a little more and have a look at the likes of maybe Travis Banks and Chris Brooks.
You know, Chris Brooks in particular, I imagine as well, though. So
I think they do very well if they were into it.
For
Even
me,
like some people like we saw just last week, TK Cooper.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh God. Yeah. Right. Well, one thing I would like to think about this tournament. Do you think this could be a lead-in now to how like will the winner of this match be a new champion, or will it be whoever wins will face Dunne?
I saw the updates on this. The winner of this tournament will face Pete Dunne on the Tuesday night, the second night, for the UK title. Also, they've announced that Adam Cole will be defending his North American Championship at this as well, against an unnamed opponent. We don't know who it is yet. It could be someone from the UK division. It may not be. We don't know.
We have to wait and see. So,
yeah.
But it's interesting. It could, for the way I see it, it could be lead on to a new era in the UK division, because the way Pete Dunne is now, he's like, you know, it's great that he's UK champion and he's representing well, but it's gotten to the point.
We've got to see it more.
Exactly. Well, not only that, but like we're getting to the point now where Pete Dunne is doing so well in America, in NXT, in all these other indies around the world. They didn't need to have the championship anymore, and it could give someone else the opportunity to have that opportunity to go all UK with it now. Like Pete Dunne did so well for how long? Oh, well over a year now. So
yeah, exactly. So, well, not nearly a year.
Over a year.
Nearly a year. He won it in May.
Oh, was it May? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Right.
Do you not listen to me read the news? No.
You're right, it isn't the news, isn't it?
Anyway, we'll move on and to some very interesting news that happened over WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler suffered a stroke shortly before WrestleMania weekend. On the latest episode of Dinner with the King, Lawler talked to his co-host Glenn Moore about a stroke that he suffered at the 21st of March, shortly before going to the WonderCon event in Anaheim, California. As he described, he and his girlfriend were together when they noticed that one side of his face was paralysed and he was slurring his words. He was then taken to hospital, where he had trouble communicating with others and had a high blood pressure rating of 296 out of 145.
I don't get that, but I think it's bad.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
3 days after...
Also, a nice way of like tiptoeing around where he actually was when he had a stroke.
Well, we'll get to that. 3 days after suffering the stroke, he was unable to talk and feel much better. He was released from the hospital a few days later after the stroke on And people he had told about a situation prior to the podcast were Kevin Dunn and Triple H. Despite being hospitalised over a stroke for the past few weeks, or for a few weeks prior, I should say, Lawler was at WrestleMania weekend, hosting the Hall of Fame, and also doing commentary for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale during the WrestleMania pre-show. He also appeared in WrestleCon Super Show, doing an angle with Joey Ryan, where he threw a fireball at Ryan's genitals.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what's this about?
They were having sex.
Oh.
They were having sex when he had a stroke.
So hold on. As he described, he and his girlfriend were together. It's just the way it was reported.
Yeah, that's what I said. Nice way of like segueing around it.
It was by no means deliberate. I don't know what to say to this.
Jerry Lawler having a stroke while having sex is the most Jerry Lawler thing possible.
It's like Jerry Lawler is one of these guys. If 2.5 Men ever reboots it, he should be Charlie Sheen's character.
He'd be like Charlie Sheen's dad. He would be Charlie Sheen's dad.
He'd just pile drive everyone he doesn't like.
Oh.
Actually makes sense when you think about it.
What?
Jerry Lawler, although Jerry Lawler would be probably more enthusiastic about it, whereas Charlie Sheen's very laid back.
Yeah, because he hasn't got a dad.
Yeah, but the point is Jerry Lawler's character is very enthusiastic. We all know certainly how his character is like when he sees Uncharted Lady. Mm-hmm. As opposed to Charlie Sheen, who's like... I can't even describe him. Charlie Sheen's Charlie
Would he be
Sheen.
more a Joey's dad?
I think so.
Yeah.
Except he's from Memphis instead of New York.
True. Well, I'm sure he got around to New York at some points there, Jerry did.
Well, it is wrestling. It was at its peak in New York during the 80s. So.
Exactly. It's good on you, Jerry, anyway. Still doing it your age. Brilliant. Brilliant.
And surviving as a result.
And surviving as well, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a health scare in itself, like, so... Anyway, I don't know what else to say to this, to be honest. It's such a weird story.
Would you like to move on?
Please do.
Do you want to move on?
We'll move on.
Okay.
We'll move on to a change of plan with WWE's Greatest Royal Rumble.
Exactly. The Undertaker is still set to wrestle in a casket match at the Greatest Royal Rumble, but it won't be against the Bulgarian brute Rusev.
Boo.
WWE announced a change to the card on Thursday, with Chris Jericho replacing Rusev in the match. This will be the first singles meeting between Jericho and The Undertaker since the year 2010. WWE had Lana send out a tweet before announcing Undertaker's opponent, saying that all over the world, little boys and girls are celebrating Rusev Day. They smile for the greatest superstar ever. I've already spoken with WWE officials to change that match because I refuse to let my husband, Rusev, compete in a casket match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Happy Rusev Day. Rusev and Lana also did an interview on TMG Sports where they hyped up the casket match prior to it being changed. Michelle McCool then responded to TMZ's headline for the article, which wasn't a direct quote from them, saying, had to listen if crush his old ass was actually said. Guess some people are smarter than others. The Greatest Royal Rumble, of course, takes place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on April 27th. And will air live on WWE Network. The updated card is as follows. Of course, the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble match,
right,
which means nothing.
Nothing really. It's just an attraction.
Yeah, Universal Champion Brock Lesnar defending his title against Roman Reigns in a steel cage match. John Cena against Triple H.
Right.
Of course, Chris Jericho against The Undertaker in a casket match. Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins defending his title in a fatal 4-way match against The Miz, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, which is also a ladder match. Cesaro and Sheamus versus either Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt or The Revival for the vacant tag team titles. And then, of course, Smackdown tag team champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, will defend against the Usos. Also on the card, WWE United States and Cruiserweight Championship matches are going to be revealed.
Well, first of all...
yeah, it's a little concerning about the whole Rusev thing. Now, this could be Rusev trolling because he does like to do that.
Does he?
He does. He does like to do that. But at what stage do you think, like, just get out, man?
Well, it seems like it could be, from recent rumours anyway. So
yeah. Like, he's clearly not getting the push that he deserves, because Vince doesn't like people getting over organically. He only wants people who he chooses to get over.
Or so we think.
Well,
So,
it proves in the pudding.
We've talked many times
Proof's in the
about
pudding.
we've talked many times how tone deaf he is anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the reports are also this week about that WWE are purposefully muting crowd chants of Rusev Day.
Really?
At SmackDown now. Yeah.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
Like,
I don't think he likes that Rusev is so over.
I don't understand.
I don't understand why. You had no problem pushing Rusev to the sky when he was United States Champion and unbeaten before WrestleMania 31, 32.
I think he accepts the fact that like this type of chant is sort of, it's one of these chants that he feels could be a protest of what the WWE officials want to do.
Vince turned it into a process all the times that he refuses to acknowledge that Rusev is not just over with the crowd, but he's a fantastic wrestler, and he's proven that he can actually carry a title and he can carry a feud.
And this gimmick he has is so fun, it's so over. Like, it shows how wide a variation his skills are as a performer by doing it as well. So it boggles the mind. Like, so that's I'm not complaining to see Jericho and Undertaker, but I would have liked to see, for Rusev's sake, against Undertaker as well.
Yeah.
You know?
It probably means, like, if the reports are false and Rusev is actually okay with this, blah blah blah, we'll probably see him in the 50-man Royal Rumble.
Probably.
I didn't even know WWE had 50 men on their roster. Let's be honest there. Obviously, of course, as you probably know from the news report, and you probably would have noticed by the lack of news on it,
right,
there will be no women there.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that Saudi Arabia is one of the most backwards countries in the world.
Well, certainly it's one of these countries that because it's of a Muslim culture,
deeply Muslim culture.
Yes, that it has its culture when it comes to women. Like, hence why, like, when you talk about all the groundbreaking stuff that happens with women in WWE, that match between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss, I think it was, where they
Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss,
yeah, where they're covered from neck to toe, essentially.
That was in the UAE.
Yeah,
which is also a Muslim country, right, but is understanding to other people's beliefs.
Okay.
Unlike Saudi Arabia,
I understand,
which is not understanding to other people's beliefs. Muslim country, you follow it, and this clearly shows another reason why WWE care more about the money,
the sweet money, sweet Saudi money,
than they actually care about fans or wrestling in general.
Well, to be fair,
if Vince could, he'd remove wrestling from WWE. It would just be World Entertainment if he could. It'd be WE.
Yeah, but that's like...
And then Elias wouldn't know what he's doing. I was like, am I walking Elias? Is someone walking Elias?
Well, I doubt he started the XFL with the idea of not putting American football in it. Let's put it that way.
If he could have called it XEL, he would have done that.
He tried it before and it failed miserably.
He would have called it XEL if he could.
In all seriousness, though, like, you could complain about Vince's ideas of putting wrestling away from it, but you have to look at this card and think it's almost like a WrestleMania cards. I think it is, anyway. I mean, Brock against Lesnar again in the cage match, Cena, Triple H, the tag match.
But why are you putting Cena? Like, the thing is, there's no build up of these things. Why are you putting Cena in with Triple H?
It's like an indie.
Why are you putting Samoa Joe in there? It's a house show.
Yeah,
it's a house. It's like it's this very similar as if they came to Dublin. The only difference is they're recording it and they put a Royal Rumble in it as well.
Yeah,
that's the only and no women are allowed.
So it's like WWE doing a corporate indie cards, corporate indie cards.
Yeah,
which I'm okay. I'm okay with it, considering the matches.
I know the lads from Low Blows and certain other parties which will not be named are having these parties for them.
Yeah.
But I'm not as into this as others are talking about.
I don't know, it's worth checking out. It's worth seeing how...
I'll probably sit down and watch it, but I am not as amped for it as, like, WWE are trying to make you.
Well, certainly, because it's such a different culture and a different environment, it's interesting to see how Saudi Arabia will make of all these other wrestlers. Apparently, Roman Reigns is as over as any wrestler in the world over there.
I would not be surprised to see him win the title.
I think he could.
I would not be surprised to see him win the title there.
Could easily happen. Apparently, from what we've heard of... we've heard like rumours concerning Brock Lesnar's new deal that it could easily be just like a 1 or 2 match thing as opposed to like a whole year.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me.
One of the matches is said to be Bobby Lashley. That's SummerSlam. But Bobby Lashley was under the impression, I think, that's going to be for the Universal title. So is Brock going to hold the title till August?
Oh no, we'll see.
I heard a stat that I think he's only 40 days away from breaking CM Punk's record.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, title reign.
Yeah, but he's a part-timer as opposed to a full-timer, so I'm not sure that means much, personally.
Yeah, they did the math as well. CM Punk defended his title 10 more times. Like, 10 times as many. 10 times as much, I should say. Like, English me speak good sometimes.
Yeah, words.
Than Brock did.
It shows you the difference in a full-time and a short time, or full-time and a part-time, simple as that. We'll move on in the meantime. We'll show you, have a rundown on one particular event from WrestleMania weekend. Progress Wrestling had an event over in Kenner, Louisiana, just outside New Orleans. Chapter 57. I love the name of the show. Bourbon is also at biscuits. How class of a name is that? That happened last Saturday at WrestleMania weekend. Results are as follows. Chris Brooks defeated Ray Horace. Toni Storm retained her Progress Women's title against Mercedes Martinez. Austin Theory and Genie defeated Will Ospreay and Kaylee Ray in a mixed tag. Mark Haskins, Jimmy Havoc and Flash Morgan Webster defeated Keith Lee, David Starr and Matt Riddle in a 6-man tag.
Kaylee Ray was in the news as well this week.
About what?
Finish the news reporting on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walter beats Zack Sabre Jr. in a Progress World Title Eliminator, so he's next in line for the World Title over there. The Grizzly Young veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson, retains their Progress titles against Ethan Page and Ricky Shane Page. And Travis Banks retained his Progress World title against Jeff Cobb. So some pretty cool matches by the sound of things. You were saying anyway about Kaylee Ray.
Yeah, at WrestleMania she was in the crowd and she had an altercation with a fan.
Oh really?
All at WrestleMania, all the sort of women that were taking part were they're sitting together,
right?
And there was one fan who was berating I think Ronda during her match, I think.
Okay.
And Kaylee Ray took exception to it, obviously, stood up and called the guy out, and had an argument with him.
Okay.
The guy backed down, sat down, like, you know, had his tail between his legs. Then later on the night, the guy got up again, started arguing very loudly, involving some unpleasant words.
Right.
Kaylee Ray got up again, squared up to the guy again, and said, "Will you mind your mouth? There's children near you." Guy sat down in his chair, and supposedly he left shortly after that as well.
Oh well, that's different. I mean, that's like for a second I thought you said you're going to have she had like a fight with someone or something like that. But
well, it could have been a fight.
Yeah, but you get them all the time, like, you know, in shows like that where someone says something and you just tell them off, and then that's that. Like, so fair play to her for standing up to.
Oh, for sure,
sure. So there you go. But anyway, we'll finish off the news with non-wrestling news, but it concerns former wrestler going to be fighting UFC soon.
Phil CM Punk has had his next fight officially announced. As expected, it was. I should say, well, not really expected. No, I don't think it was expected, but whatever. Punk is going to be facing Mike Jackson at UFC 225 in Chicago on June 9th. The fight had been discussed for the show since last February, and Dana White confirmed last week that Jackson would be Punk's next opponent. Jackson was the person that Mickey Gall defeated before being confirmed as the opponent for Punk's first UFC matchup. Punk and Jackson's only pro mixed martial arts fights have been their first round submission losses to Gall. Punk will be again competing at welterweight. So Punk has his second fight.
Let's see how he gets on.
Yeah, I spoke to a friend of mine who was I'd say an MMA expert.
Right.
Like, he trains it, he knows his shtick.
He's educated.
Yeah. And he says that this guy Jackson is nowhere near the level of Mickey Gall. That Punk, after spending another year training, he says the place where Punk is training is like one of the best places to train.
No, it is. You're right.
I think it's American Fight Team or something like that.
Well, I know the coach is one of the most revered anyway. So, and
he says, like, you're not going to not pick up anything there. This is going to be a lot closer fight, and he says Punk actually has the chance. So fair play.
Have to wait and see.
Hopefully Punk does have a chance.
Well, yeah. Well, I'd like to see him do well. Like, you know, like I completely am supportive considering what he's put himself through.
Yeah.
For it, like, you know, it's not easy transitioning from just no training whatsoever to his third year of training now.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that, like, and it's got now his second UFC fight, which is like the big league straight away. Like, he's doing the Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar could get away with it because of his wrestling backgrounds, but here's CM Punk with probably I don't know, intermediate martial arts at best, before doing wrestling. So, I'll be interested to see what happens. All the same, it's that more intriguing, to see how he gets on. So,
yeah, for sure. I'd love to see him do well. It was hard to watch him get beaten so badly.
Yeah, but it was sort of
that first fight. But it could have been a wake up call to say, look, listen, you can't just walk into this sport.
Yeah.
And think you're going to own it.
I don't think he actually thought that. I think he just didn't know fully what he was going into until he experienced it. Sometimes you could have all the preparation in the world, but unless you actually go in there and do it. It's the same with anyone who thinks he could be a wrestler. You can't just walk in straight away.
Yeah, well, what was it that was said? It was very interesting. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Words
from Mirko Cro Cop.
Is it?
I remember him saying that quote once. Anyway. I'm not sure if he invented it, but it's certainly something I heard.
I can't remember who says it. I'm sorry. There's probably people shouting right now.
Yeah, but neither of us know.
We're sorry.
It's okay. We're sorry. We're grand. We'll move on in the meantime. Anyway, we'll return with our results of the week, starting with Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 12.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
We're back here on the Kickout, to your weekly pro wrestling guides. Now, we have a lot of previews to our results to bring up, so let's get straight to them now with our results of the week.
Oh my God! What the hell is going on? Oh my God!
And we're going to start off with Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 12. So, Ring of Honor Supercards 12, which took place also on the Saturday. I think it was just before WrestleMania, same night as
same night as TakeOver.
Indeed, yeah. So, but all things considered, it still drew a record crowd for them, 6,000 people. So, so their biggest crowd in their history. And it was an awesome show. Overall, I enjoyed it. So, you haven't seen much of it yourself, but it was pretty awesome.
I've seen the first half. Yeah. And from what I've seen in the first half with Punishment Martinez and against Tomohiro Ishii, despite the match being short, it was still fantastic.
Indeed.
Then, of course, the Bucks with their 6-man ladder match against the SoCal Uncensored. Unbelievable. What other matches did I say? Sorry. Hangman Page, of course, against Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
Some absolutely fantastic matches. I still plan to sit down, obviously, from seeing the Being the Elite post. I saw that, of course, Cody beat Kenny after the Young Bucks, mistakenly, you could say, kicked Kenny instead of Cody.
I think it was a mistake anyway.
Or was it all the plan at the start?
Well, either that or they're very good actors.
We'll have to find out.
We'll just get to the full card anyway. Well, first of all, they had their Women of Honor tournament semi-finals to decide their first ever champion. They had Kelly Klein defeat Maru Iwatani in one semi-final, and Sami Sakai, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, beat Tenille Dashwood, who was seen as a heavy favourite into this. So set up for the final. Both those matches were on Facebook, so they weren't shown, or I didn't see them anyway. And they had then a photo up between Klein and Sakai, but Klein cheap shot Sakai afterwards, so it let a bit of heat go into the match. Jonathan Gresham took on Chucky T 1-on-1. It was a good back and forth match. Both worked well together, kept the crowds going. It was a lot of fun. In the end, it was Gresham who answered back with a series of rights from Chucky T. He attacked with the knee, then Chucky hit Soul Food. I'm not sure what that move is, but then Gresham got countered back with a Tornado DDT before Chucky rolled him up for the win there. It was a good opening match. As you mentioned, Tomohiro Ishii took on Punishment Martinez. This was actually a very good match. Very hard hitting, like Martinez, it's a massive win for him. Like that really pushes him up towards, for me, the top stars now in Ring of Honor at the moment, because he's beaten one of the toughest men in the world at the moment, certainly in pro wrestling. Like, when we look at Tomohiro Ishii, he was one of, certainly up there with the best brawlers in wrestling with his style, like, and to not only come back but take him down to it, like, goes to show you. So Ishii hit him with the lariat on the rebounds, covering for 2. Martinez then fights off the brainbuster, hits a lariat for 2. Then trade kicks until Martinez finished him off with his Sound of Heaven chokeslam, which I think is like a normal chokeslam, but it's like a backbreaker. Yeah, something similar to that. I love Punishment Martinez. I'd love to see more of him in the future for sure. Now, probably one of the better matches of the show, Hangman Page against Kota Ibushi, which of course is continuing on the civil war, or at least the rivalry, or all the goings on inside the Bullet Club. Some really good spots though. That's one occasion where Page cuts off the golden triangle and slams Ibushi into the barricades, but then almost kills Page with the German off the barricades. Remember that?
Landed right on top of his head.
Fair play to him.
Jesus.
Oh god! In the end, though, it was a great back and forth match. Really great, fantastic performance from Adam Page, like Hangman Page.
Yeah,
it was like, for me, like, he's the way he's going at the moment, he's probably the breakout star in world wrestling at the moment, or certainly one of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to outshine the likes of the Bucks and Cody and stuff like that, but his match quality, he's definitely doing that.
But by God, he's trying.
Yeah.
Like, even if he doesn't get to that level, he is knocking on the door for it. Like, so, and no, it was a great fun. The match were really into it. In the end, it was they light each other up and kept challenging each other to throw. It was Page who finally dropped Ibushi with a rolling elbow, but then Ibushi fired back with a head kick. Ibushi hit the power bomb, but Page kicked out. Then the straight jacket German, and the knee strike finished off Page for the win for that. Now the final then for the first, to decide the first ever Woman of Honor champion. And it started like almost straight away. Like, it was Sakai who was actually really angry over the whole attack last time and attacked her straight off the bat, looking for revenge. It was good. Like, it was a good match. Like, the only thing I'll say is that the finish seemed a bit strange. What happened was Klein laid in strikes, but Sakai hit a Fisherman Buster. She had him top and went for a moonsault, but it sort of grazed Klein, and then had a DDT following for the win. So it seemed like a wee bit of a weird finish, but
yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, it was still a good match. I felt the crowd could have been more invested, considering it's a first ever championship. And maybe they can.
I think it was just it was unfortunate. It was a match that was just caught in the shuffle of a load of bigger matches.
I don't think it was that. It was a bit lost in it, but I'm not sure if the placement in the placement in the card had anything to do with it though.
Yeah, I think it was having to follow the Kota Ibushi match and Hangman Page.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think that suffered. I think it suffered because of that.
Good points. SoCal Uncensored, the team of Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, took on the team of Flip Gordon and the Young Bucks for the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles in a ladder match. Come here, I have to ask you about this. Do you think it's weird though, the way they presented this match? Rather than having, you know how you have for the tag titles, you have both titles up ahead in the rafters. For this 6-man tag, they only had one title instead of all 3 of them. Does that take away the mystique of it a wee bit for you?
Nope. Not for me. No, doesn't for me. I always find it weird with, especially tag team title matches, where they'd have 2 titles on it. I think all you need to do is take a title off, and then the title should be yours. I think having all 3 hanging there would just be unnecessary as well, because you would have to take all 3 off, and it's just in terms of finishing.
So what you're saying is it's more of an inconvenience.
Yeah, like if you wanted to run the angle where you need to take, like if you want to run the angle where the rule is you have to take all 3 belts, or if it's a tag team, all 2 belts.
Right.
And if you want to run the angle where one team takes one and one team takes the other, then that's interesting. But when it's just one team is going to win straight out, just take. If you have the other 2 titles at the side there, just take the title. One title, that's all you need. It's fine. It
was an excellent match though. Great teases, really good bumps. Great, like all the teams worked very well in this match.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I really felt like the only thing I'll say about this match though is that as good as it was, you feel the interference from the Kingdom spoiled it just a wee bit.
Continued interference, yes. The initial interference, no.
Okay. Yeah, and it certainly leads into interesting stuff going down the line anyway, like, you know, so. But again, like it continues, like the rivalry between the Bucks and the Daniels and Kaz. Their rivalry goes way back, like a Ring of Honor, like, so it continues that story very well. And it shows that like that sort of match, like a ladder match, is perfect for those types of teams because you know each other so well.
Yeah.
So any sort of interactions is almost effortless to them at this stage, like, you know. So it was an awesome match. Some really good spots in particular included where Nick joined in the cease and desist in the ladder. Where when Matt had a sharpshooter, and then he was caught between the ladder, and then Daniels cut off Flip and attacked the butts with ladder shots. Like, one of my favourite spots, I think, was when Nick hopped from one ladder to another, and then dived on the floor. Now, that was one of the spots of the whole weekends for me, like, you know. So, and the Bucks then climbed, but then that's when the Kingdom then arrived. Then what else happens? Then then the 450s on the Kingdom members through the tables. Remember that?
Yeah.
And that bump.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to mention the flip where the bump that Flip took on top of the ladder, where he touched
where he got his leg taken out, smacked his face off the ladder, and then
beautifully
fell.
Done.
Brilliant.
Beautifully done. In the end, though, it was Matt who knocked Daniels to the mats, but Daniels toppled over the ladder, sending Matt flying off onto the table, where another Kingdom member was, and then that led to Daniels climbing up and retaining. But then Matt Taven from the Kingdom then attacked the post match and stole the titles. Off they went.
Yep.
To fight another day.
Who do you think they are? CM Punk?
Well, it's not their belts. That's the worst part about it. The Briscoes then took on Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi for the ROH Tag Team titles. It was a good match.
The Briscoes have been in a little bit of hot water recently.
What is that?
There was something about them at a UK event.
Oh, I heard about this, yeah.
And supposedly they took a rainbow flag off someone who had it in the crowd.
Is that right?
Yeah. Upset a lot of people. Obviously, rightly enough. You know? Wrestling's meant to be for everyone, lads.
Yeah, indeed.
You know? Ask Finn.
There's little doubt about the Briscoes winning this match, to be fair. Like, but what I loved about this match is that they did a really hell of a job making us think that the titles could change. That's where I think the beauty of this match comes in. Some great jam at the closing stretch, but it made sense for the Briscoes to win. In the end, it was where Tanahashi hit a planta on. It was who hit who? What? No, Lethal hit the Lethal injection for a right near fall. The crowds were awesome there. Then Mark Briscoe and Tanahashi brawl. Then Lethal was slammed into Tanahashi, and Jay hit a German on Lethal, and Doomsday Device finished off Jay Lethal there. Now, Silas Young, which is his theme song in the background here, against Kenny King in a Ring of Honor TV title Last Man Standing match. Actually, before this match started, Austin Aries arrived. Said he's here because he wants the TV title, because he's a two-time Ring of Honor World Champion back in his indie days, and it's the only title of Ring of Honor he hasn't got. He never had a reign on, and so he wants to match whoever won over, and he decides to return to his career away from his career as commentary, joining Colt Cabana and I forget the other guy's name, Ian Ruckus something.
Okay, Rockerford is it? Is it Rockerford?
No. It sounds like an Italian name. I can't remember what it was. But no, this was a good match. Like, it worked. Like, both worked very hard, like, for this match, and the end of, and it was pretty cool. The only thing is, though, like, the way it finished, though, it seems to be divided in opinion. The way it finished, where King headed on top and hit a shooting star press through a table, which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
But then the Beer City Bruiser tied Kenny King's feet together and led to Silas Young winning. Now, is that a weird way to finish a last man standing match, or is it an incredibly intelligent way to win?
Oh, intelligent for sure.
I've never seen a last man standing match end that way.
It's the right way to do it. Like, you have to get back on your feet. You tie the feet, you can't get back on your feet.
It's clever in a way, isn't it? Post match then, Young and Bruiser then attack post match, but then Aries made the save, so it could lead to Silas Young now against Austin Aries in the future. That's a match for me. It's a good match. I'm definitely in favour of that match. Now, in a bit of an impromptu match, Cheeseburger with I don't know what the name of his partner was actually, was supposed to take on the Dogs.
Was it Vegan Burger?
Was that his name?
I don't know.
Oh, I forget what the name of his.
Maybe in Chicken Burger.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened to it was a guy called Izom or something like that. I don't know his name. But anyway, what happened was they brawled before the bell where the Dogs destroyed his tag team partner, and then Bully Ray arrived. And then Bully cut a promo deciding to do his job where he said if Burger can't find a partner, then the match is cancelled. Then Cheeseburger asked Bully if he wanted to be his partner. And they run wild, and then Cheeseburger and it looks like they're going to do the WhatsApp, and they did the WhatsApp thing where they did with the Dudleys. But then Bully Ray turned on Cheeseburger and chokeslammed him before he went on a massive rant then, saying that Cheeseburger is what's wrong with wrestling. He's basically being the bitter veteran sort of guy, like, you know. And he ran down guys like Will Ospreay, Flip Gordon, and Ricochet, saying like that they're the type of guys that are wrong for wrestling. Then Joe Koff, who's the CEO of Ring of Honor, showed up, and Bully rang him down by hiring guys like Cheeseburger and said that he won't do anything until Flip Gordon arrives, and then Bully threatens to pile drive Cheeseburger if he goes anywhere near him. Bully then puts on his Hall of Fame ring and looks happy with himself before powerbombing Cheeseburger and leaving.
Mm-hmm. Good.
What? Why? Like, it's the best way I could put this whole thing. Bully never turned down a cheeseburger in his life.
Wow.
It's an interesting segment, though. Like, but is it, considering that Bully Ray is almost at the end of his run in wrestling in general?
Yeah.
Is this kind of a way he wants to go out with like a ton of heat, like as a bit of a veteran? It's kind of weird to me.
Well, he, as a single run, he was the heel and always had like heelish tendencies and stuff. So yeah, why not?
I suppose
go out on the way he wants. This is what, that's the thing.
Probably the most one of the most anticipated matches, certainly from an indie perspective, the most anticipated match of this whole weekend. Mm-hmm. Cody versus Kenny Omega. Mm-hmm. Kenny flanked with Brandy, the Police, and Bernard the Business Bear. Mother of gods. Straight at the very start of the match, Kenny kicked him to the floor, looked to rise in the Terminator, but the bear trapped him. Then Kenny took out the bear, allowing Cody to attack, and then the ref tossed the bear away, and then Cody took control from there. I never actually seen who it was in the end. This was a good match, but do you feel it delivered overall, considering the storyline going into it? Oh yeah, of course.
Haven't seen it. I think it's leading on to more.
It definitely is. It has to.
I think they're definitely gonna have a loser leaves Bullet Club match.
It has to,
for sure.
But the way I see it as well, like it was a good match, but it felt more of a work. Remember we talked about WrestleMania last year when Jericho and Owens, which was expecting to be the best match of the whole WrestleMania, ended up being sort of a professional type of match, a worked match, so to speak. This is sort of like what this is. It plays well to the storylines very well, especially with the angle with the Bucks as well, where which I think came in at the right stage as well. Mm-hmm. But like, it's interesting. Like, you know, it's like there's so many good spots to think about. Like, one of the big ones, obviously, where Brandy was at the apron trying to distract Omega, but then Omega fights back and Cody moves, and V triggers her off the apron to a table, which is like the best bump ever.
Yeah, similar to Triple H doing it to Stephanie last year.
It's very similar, except she literally jumped instead of falling.
Yeah.
Who came out then to save Brandy? Take a guess.
Flip.
Indeed. Flip Gordon helped her out, sending her to the back. It's more on the B and D Elite. Did you see the last B and D Elite?
Yes.
Well, yeah, so it's basically following more on that.
Yeah.
Cody then hits the V later on. It's a V trigger for 2, another V trigger, and then the winging angel countered into a vertebreaker, which is like one of the rarest moves you see nowadays because it's so dangerous.
I did see that going around. It's crazy.
The Young Bucks shortly arrive. Super kick Omega as Cody moved. They effed up and they know it, and then Cody finished off with the crossroads. Do you think, though, another thing I'd like to bring up is the way Cody is at the moment? You know, like, this should be like, do you feel in terms of the way he is now as a wrestler, he's at that right stage to make this rivalry work compared to Omega, who's one of the best wrestlers in the world, bar none?
Yeah.
Do you think Cody is anywhere near that level at the moment, despite the storyline going forwards?
How do you mean? Like,
so, like, you know, for this sort of match, Cody's trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to almost claim superiority, leadership, if you like, in the Bullet Club.
This is all part of his master plan to gain leadership of the Bullet Club.
Now, do you expect more from him as a result of that, or is what he's doing good enough?
he's going to have to take it up a gear after what happened
has
at the
to.
end of the Being the Elite episode, where he was by himself. So it's interesting what he'll do next. Like I said, it's all going to culminate in a loser leaves Bullet Club match. How we get to that, though,
the stage right now is the feud. The whole feud is perfect the way it is right now. The way it is right now is awesome.
Yeah, the Marty Scurll thing is interesting.
It is. So we're just going to get onto that now, actually, as well. Where Dalton Castle was defended his Ring of Honor title against Marty Scurll. And it was a good match. Like, you know, the only thing I'll say about this match as well, though, is that do you feel that the whole energy from Kenny and Cody might have taken away from this match, possibly?
I would have thought that for sure.
I hate to be critical about it, but it's because they tried their best, but I don't know. It just seems like even the best wrestlers can make can say poor scripts. You know, sort of way.
I think for sure that. That's one of the things that would have definitely happened because this match was so hyped. I think if it was the other way around, I think it would have worked better. It would have had the crowd into it more if the main event was Cody against Kenny. And I don't know why they didn't go for it.
I was thinking, I was a bit surprised when it didn't come up as Cody's main event.
I guess they want to stick to the tradition that the title goes out last.
I respect that, to be honest with you.
I do, but there's no problem.
But sometimes
there's no problem with putting the other match last because sometimes, and we do see it happen, we do see it happen everywhere. Sometimes,
especially in WWE,
the main event, or I should say, not the main event. Sorry. Sometimes a rivalry that doesn't involve the title is bigger than the title itself. We saw it in NXT.
Great example. NXT with Gargano and Ciampa, which is far more compelling. As good as intriguing as Black and Almas was, it's a way more intriguing rivalry. So, as much as we want to see Almas and Black as main events, it's too intriguing to see what's going to happen between Gargano and Ciampa, for that rivalry. So it's we can't just take that away. So it was a good match, though, I have to say. There some interesting spots with this match is that Nick Aldis was at ringside, NWA World Champion, and he had something to Marty. It looked like clippers as Marty undoes the buckle pads.
Yeah.
Other good spots is where Castle rolled back in and Larry got powder, and Castle kicked it in his eyes, and Marty was blinded and ended up breaking the ref's fingers. Both his fingers, and he tried counting after a brainbuster, but he couldn't. It's like 1, ow, no. So we need a new referee, and that's such a brilliant way to not lose a match, because I think it was it was a brainbuster from Marty, but he couldn't win because of basically he broke the fingers of the ref completely by accident. But there you go. So certainly to take away from that. It seems like there's still a lot of more intriguing, and I'm glad that it goes beyond WrestleMania as well, or WrestleMania weekend, which to be honest isn't their hill to die on.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense that they go on. So it's definitely intriguing.
Oh, it was a great crowd. I did feel a little sorry for them, for people who wanted to watch the event, in terms of having to go up against a takeover. Was pretty unfair for them, and what a takeover it was.
Well, let's get on to it then right now.
Yeah.
Let's get on to what happened on NXT New Orleans. Oh, I love this song. Kane Lane, I think they were called, or something like that. So, but anyway, NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Mother of God.
Yeah.
There's good luck finding a better wrestling show this year. Anywhere in the world, including Japan.
We have a tendency to say this after every NXT takeover.
But especially before WrestleMania. Yeah, but especially before each big show, it always delivers. But this one, I'm going to go ahead and say this is the best takeover they've ever done. All things considered. It was not a bad match. Every match delivered.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
It's definitely top 3.
I'd agree with that. No, I'd say it's the best. Yeah.
We'll get straight to it anyway. First of all, the NXT North American title was decided for their first champion ever in a ladder match between Adam Cole, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, EC3, Velveteen Dream, and Ricochet. like, this is one of these matches where there's no, like, even though Adam Cole is the guy who won in the end, there's no loser in this match. Everyone takes away from above everything else. Like, you know, we're obviously like Adam Cole is great and he won it and it feels elevated, but it's when you look at how the match was booked, it made everybody look good. Yeah. Here's Killian Dane and and Lars Sullivan, who are throwing Ricochet from one end of the ring to the other. Here's Ricochet being Ricochet. I mean, by God, did he deliver in this first match? Some of those spots. Yeah.
That first spot where I think he ran and did a
shooting star press,
where he nearly killed himself, by the way.
If you look, and how he almost killed himself by then moonsaulting off a falling ladder.
That was just fantastic.
That was incredible.
That was fantastic. He was definitely given the MVP award, I think, for that match, probably, or the Star Man.
He was certain. Well, as I said, I think everyone delivered in this match. Like his high flying spots are obviously the highlight of that as well. But everyone played their parts. Velveteen Dream. Yeah. Like some of the stuff he did.
The elbow drop, my God.
The elbow drop. The Death Valley driver on the flat table between the corner and...
that was the flat ladder.
The flat table. The flat ladder, that's what I meant, yeah. Flat ladder. I think he did it on... I don't know who he did it with. I think it was on Ricochet.
It was, yeah.
EC3, like, you know, it's like, I wasn't sure at first when seeing EC3, like, I thought some of his technique was a wee bit clumsy, but then I saw it again, I'm like, oh, wait, no, he's alright.
Yeah. All these guys, and Adam Cole as well, like, we mentioned that we think... we thought that he might have been protected because he has the tag team title match and everything, but he was just as in it as anyone else.
What I hope to see out of this now regarding Ricochet is that, like, WWE basically let him be himself. Yeah. Please keep doing that. Yeah. By God, I mean, that's why he's one of the best in the world at it. Like, the only person that can match him is Will Ospreay. Like, in terms of the stuff he can do. Please just keep him doing. Keep him at it, and it goes for when he eventually gets to the main roster, but that's a different matter, but we'll see that as it goes along. Well, I love him. One thing I have to mention about Adam Cole, he's been in quite a few gimmick matches now since he's been in NXT, and he thrives in every single one of them, from War Games to this. Yeah,
he is the MVP of the Undisputed Era. He's the true leader of it.
Which makes sense why they're investing in him being North American champion. That's why it makes more sense, because he's the guy who is probably as good as everyone else says. He's the best all-rounder.
In hindsight, he was the clear choice, wasn't he?
Yeah, looking at it,
he was like, we've seen him. We know he can hold the title, like being Ring of Honor champion and everything, and probably he is the most experienced out of all of them that was in that match.
Could be.
I think so.
I reckon it's
between him and Ricochet.
I reckon so, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Velveteen Dream's only 22nd too.
I know. It's unfair, isn't it?
Disgustingly young. I said it once, say it again.
Yeah.
But no, as this match goes, like, it's hard. Like, in terms of openers for pay-per-views, not just one of the best NXT's ever done, one of the best WWE's ever done.
Yeah.
Class show.
Unbelievable. Of course, getting the 5 stars from Big Dave.
Indeed.
Big Dave wasn't the only 5-star match.
It wasn't.
I've had to stop looking at those star reviews though.
Yeah, no,
because they go into depth, like 4 3/4 and stuff like that. It's just.
And to be fair, that's credit on him, because his opinion is very valued, which is all credit to him. He's done it so long now. He's been rating matches since the 80s, I think. Yeah. So he's earned that reputation for his opinion to be very valid, and rightly so. But at the end of the day, it's not just his opinion. We've seen the match to know how awesome it was. Like, you know, not putting credit on us.
He puts an opinion out there, and it's up to the people to take that opinion in. And if they want to follow it and agree with it, that's fine. Yeah. It's the same as us. We offer our opinion out there, and if people want to agree with us or disagree,
we don't expect people to agree with us. That's for sure.
What are you talking about? Everyone has to agree with us.
No, they don't.
Everyone has to agree with us.
Every time we put up our predictions, we
Dave, you
we
have
challenge
to agree
them.
with me now. No, actually, I have to agree with you. You're the one who did well in the predictions, by the way.
You brought it up, I'm just saying.
Look at that. I know, you were waiting for it.
No, I wasn't.
But congrats.
Appreciate it, thank
you.
You
are steaming ahead in both Air Prediction League and
it's already.
Uploads.
Yeah, I'm second apparently.
Yeah, second.
Can't believe that.
You had a good weekend. A very good weekend.
Don't have to say, it is what it is. Like it's still early in the year. It's only April now, so long way to go till December.
Yeah.
We'll move on anyway. Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title. So, now the thing, for me, I felt that a lot of people got into this match were looking at Shayna Baszler, not giving her enough credit for her run so far, but I'm thinking to myself, why? Yeah. She plays her character so well. She actually is one of the few legitimate badasses, not just NXT, but in all WWE. And she has so much potential. It's like, you know, it's scary.
Oh, I mentioned it on Twitter there, that like she should be seen as an example of how an MMA fighter transitions into a wrestler. And she's just been so good in the ring. She's just taken to it like a moth to a flame. It's been absolutely fantastic. She's gotten her head down. She's learned what she needed to learn, and she's just used her natural charisma as well, and has just been absolutely fantastic.
I have to say, one thing I want to bring up regarding Ember Moon. How would you rate her run as NXT champion?
Similar to Dean Ambrose's run as WWE champion.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
it could be stronger.
She could be stronger. I think she rested on her laurels a little bit, and she didn't have a Stone Cold podcast to get the fire put under her arse.
Well, one thing is that bear in mind she had to take she was post Asuka.
Yeah,
which isn't it's not easy thing to follow, especially with her leaving NXT undefeated. Yeah,
it's similar to an Alex Ferguson. You don't want to be the man who follows the man. You want to be the man who follows the man who followed the man. That
said, she showed great fire in this match, like, you know, surviving the initial onslaught before taking control, and then attacking. I love the karma in this match, where it told the story of the callbacks and previous encounters, where she showed the vicious side, attacking Baszler's arm, and then I love what Baszler did, where she did like they call it a Martin Riggs, where she popped her shoulder back in place by shoulder thrusting into the ring post. I never ever seen that before. Did
you watch the WWE video of Maru and Hello?
I did. How amazing! he's literally a fan.
The look that he gives the TV monitor while Shayna Baszler's putting her shoulder pops. What is she doing? What? She's popping her shoulder back into play. Like, I thought he was a little more animated than normal.
He is
on Saturday, and that was why, because he was being filmed.
Can you blame it? Oh, did he know he was being filmed?
Yeah, of course he would have known. He looked at the camera numerous times.
I noticed that, actually.
Yeah, you cannot know you're not. You can't not know you're being filmed. Like, especially in WWE. You're always
I suppose. Yeah, but yeah, you figured there'd be so many cameras to be used to it, I suppose. In the end, though, it was Baszler who counters the eclipse.
No, so I'm saying that he was a little more animated than usual, because he knew that this video was going to be a special thing on WWE.
Yeah, well, it worked. It did work for sure. Yeah. In the end, it was Baszler who countered the eclipse, which has never happened before. That's a first. And then locked in the chokehold with the one good arm, forcing the ref to eventually stop the match.
That was genius by her as well. Using her one good arm and holding onto her hair
with her hair
in place.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Nice way of doing it. And so it was a good match. It ended like settling the whole thing with Baszler, and now, like, you know, with her as champion, there's a good range of baby faces now in NXT who could easily be the next in line. Like, you have Kairi Sane, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai. Any of them could be next in line now.
Yeah.
Now, AOP versus Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly versus Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong for the NXT tag titles. Now, straight away, you think on paper, Authors of Pain would be favourites for this. So, but then again, we all speculated, and I'm virtually right later on, because AOP will be eventually gone to the main roster. So you think, how would they book this match? But like, because it's like you can't have Dunne and Strong because they're not a regular tag team. Yeah, you think as well. But anyway, it was Dunne and Strong who started, ran wild. So they worked to the bitter end, and then Strong broke up the pin, hit the heartache. But then, just out of the shock and awe of everyone, it was Strong who broke up the pin.
Yeah.
But so Dunne hit the bitter end, then Strong broke it up and hit the end of heartache, and then it allowed O'Reilly to pin Dunne.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming. Because I think we both speculated that if there's a heel turn, it was done.
You thought Donovan Gignac.
You did no, but this works.
Yeah. Oh no, this works. And once again, hindsight, so simple. He's had issues with them, and then he finally turns and joins them.
But it's a surprise considering their history as well, because they had a rivalry before. Like, so I'm thinking now. So all of a sudden, you've been all this time against them, and all of a sudden you decide, oh wait, no, I changed my minds.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. Like, so, and it sets up things in the future. Like, so, and it works. Like Roderick Strong being involved in that now as well. So it'll be certainly very interesting to see what happens going forward. Anyway, certainly with Pete Dunne, there's speculation of Mustache Mountain now reuniting with Pete Dunne. We know what actually is happening. We can't reveal on this show because we don't like spoilers. But
what do you mean? What's happening? It was announced on WWE.
Yeah, but that's
what,
UK tournaments.
Yeah,
I mean NXT.
Oh, and NXT. Sorry, yeah.
So it'll be certainly interesting to see what go forward. It'll be interesting to see how Strong will come off as a heel, because quite frankly, I don't think he needed necessarily to turn a heel. But that's but then again, we'll see how it pans out all the same. So it's certainly an awesome replacement for Bobby Fish anyway, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Now, this match, although the main event is probably the best match of the year for me, as we'll talk about, you're probably not in debate with that. I can tell by your face.
Still thinking about it.
Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black for the NXT title was for me the most satisfying result, in considering that I'm the massive Aleister Black fan.
Yeah.
Like Almas, I have to say, him and Vega is money. They really are, and I'm a tad bit surprised they haven't been called up. At least not yet, anyway.
Not yet. I think he's going to. It's not happening now. I'm guessing after SummerSlam.
Think so?
Yeah.
But by God, it's the two put on awesome performances. Whereas Black is a man on the rise. Like he's delivered on all the takeover matches he's done in with Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, and this was awesome. Like this type match.
Just so we're aware. Sorry. The Superstar Shakeup next week.
Right.
It doesn't involve NXT stars, right?
It could.
Have WWE said that?
It has. Well, let's put it this way: when they interviewed different wrestlers for it, they interviewed TJP for it.
Yeah. Who
hinted that if he leaves 205 for Raw exclusively, he wants to go after the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
So that leads the open. It could be NXT, it could be UK, it could be 205 livers who get drafted elsewhere as well. So So on that belief, I will say yes, NXT could easily be involved. So therefore, yes, Almas could easily get drafted to whichever.
Okay. Then that's in. Then I'm okay with that. I thought it was his time to move up, but if you want to keep him there a little longer, I don't mind too. There's still other people that have really good programs with. And I think he'd do better.
The interference spots in this match, although I thought there was maybe one or too many, it didn't take away from the match at all, and I almost felt, and I almost awarded the fans.
I think they did that just to build up how.
It's great psychology though from Vega.
I was gonna say how much Aleister Black has to go through to win this title.
Indeed.
And how hard he's going to have to fight, and how much he's going to have to dig to actually take this title off Almas and Vega. Because it's almost if he's not fighting one person, he's fighting two.
It paid off though, because in all aspects, in all aspects, you could say Vega is the reason for Almas' recent success, which is only right.
Yeah.
But what I love about this whole match is that it's only inevitable that she's the cause of the downfall as well.
Yeah.
As what happened in the end is that during one last interference, she tried to get a crossbody but missed and hit Almas, and then Almas hit the Black Mass for the win. And I was so happy. I never was so happy for a result of a match ever. It's like Black is coming full circle, because this time last year he debuted, didn't he, against Almas?
Yes.
Yeah, and now here he is now winning the NXT title, and he's been great all year. And although I've really enjoyed Almas as champion, I felt it was the right time for him to be champion. I have to say though, on a personal note, I don't know if you've seen this on online, but Aleister Black revealed during the week that he suffers from depression. Okay. Yeah, he showed a picture of himself looking at the title, and he said he's overcome all these things and stuff like that. So I myself, I don't deal with depression myself, but I know a lot of people who do. So I think it's awesome for him to reveal that, and it's awesome how someone as open as that, kayfabe or not, is able to do that. So all credit to him,
Yeah, that's a big step forward for anyone that may be going through it.
Yeah.
And would look for someone for inspiration, especially if they are a wrestling fan. That's your inspiration right there.
One of my images of the year now is how we see this, how Aleister Black has an almost expressionless face, him smiling while he rises the title.
Right? It's not a smile that you normally associate with Aleister Black.
That'll stay with me, man. That's just me, though. But this next match will probably stay with everybody. Yeah. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, uncensored. Unsanctioned, excuse me.
It was also uncensored.
Oh my, I don't know what this... Like, the way I see this match, like, here's how I think where the best matches separates from the good matches separate from the great matches. Or, sorry, how the great matches separate from the epic matches. That it's all well and good to have excellent matches based on skill and ring work.
Yeah.
And when the crowd are really into it. But to really achieve that proper epicness is when it has a great story.
Yeah.
Or an emotional hook. And this and I think about all the best matches this year have had that. Gargano and Ciampa had that. Or Gargano and Almas had that, because it had the rise of Gargano post Ciampa going for the title. The Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks, all the Civil War malarkey of the Bullet Club, that had that emotional aspect. That what made that amazing match as well.
Yeah.
And considering the backstory of Ciampa and Gargano, friends betraying a friend, ruining his life in every way, shape or form, trying to ruin his career, and being a right a-hole as a result, like, it's too perfect. It's too awesome. And even the little things as well. Like, think about it, Ciampa, for example, coming out with no music, just to a ring of boos. That was a great call.
That was
an awesome call. Both men look like they haven't like Ciampa in particular, look like they haven't ate carbs in a year.
Yeah. He's going for that Finn Balor look. You know? He's just missing the hair on his dome. That's all.
Yeah, and then Gargano
he was looking like a beardy Stone Cold, you know, the knee brace and everything.
Very like that. Yeah, even the attire, if you look at it,
leather jacket.
Leather jacket with extra sleeves, but that's a different story. But Gargano, like, his psychology was perfect as well. He was a man possessed. Like, he set the tone straight away. Like, you know, as a heated feud that it should be, where he's placed the babyface so well. But then,
there's one touch that at the start of the match I want to acknowledge.
Okay.
And it's a small touch, but I think, like, this is the stuff that Triple H does. He does these small touches that work really well.
Yeah.
It was the fact that the ref didn't have a referee's jersey on.
That's true.
He just had an NXT jersey. Or NXT polo.
NXT polo, yeah.
And it kind of drove home the point that, yes, this is definitely unsanctioned. And it's fantastic. It was fantastic. And the referee played, I should say, point out for the referee, playing a blinder as well by, like, saying, like, look, listen, I know, because it was the Wrestle Kingdom match between Jericho and Omega for the no disqualification was given criticism for this.
Okay.
But the ref played it perfectly by saying, look, listen, you can grab the ropes as much as you like, there's no rope break, I can't do anything. I can't make him do anything. You know, you tap or you get out. You know, that's where, instead of, like, unfortunately, when the Wrestle Kingdom match was on between Jericho and Omega, the ref broke it up and it was a rope break. You
talk about other good bits in this match, though. Like, how, like, the look that Ciampa had when he stole the crutches from that fan. Like, you know, like, again, it's calling back.
That poor fan got escorted out of the building for having his crutches stolen off.
He was carefully taken away from ringside from the scary Ciampa.
He was taken out of the arena.
Was he?
Well, obviously he wasn't, but obviously because it's
but the point,
it was a plant. But, like, he looked like the security guard came straight away, and it looked like he was escorting him out of the building for having his crutches taken.
But again, the little touches, like, you know, like the callback of previous attacks when he was doing the wave, like when he had them first and he had that sick look in his face, and then and then here's Gargano going after him, hitting him in the leg and stuff like that, and even going back to even Ciampa going back to the previous DIY finish, the way he did the impersonation of Gargano, the way when he hit his super kick, just stuff like that. The spot when he had the wrist tape, where, like, it almost it's almost a visual of how of their link together, stuff like that. I mean, it's just in the home stretch though. So many near falls, so many drama.
Just a point as well where Ciampa was spent, sat down in the ring, and Gargano was going to sit beside him towards the end.
Yeah,
after mimicking what happened after their
Cruiserweight Classic
match. Everything about this match was perfect.
And the way it finished where Gargano used a knee brace and locked in STF. That is karma at its most beautiful right there.
Yeah.
Amazing match. Worth staying up that late for. And the end with Johnny and Candice LeRae in the end. It was just awesome match. Which leaves me to basically this. For me, that's my match of the year. By far and away. But here's the big question. Almas and Gargano, or Ciampa and Gargano? No, we talked about this off air, and I've let you a while to think about it now. So
it's hard to.
It is hard.
It's hard to actually say which is better, solely because of the emotional connection that Gargano and Ciampa had for their match.
Well, let's put it this way, right?
For a match that was just brought out, like, just organically between Almas and Gargano for the match that they had,
right,
was unbelievable. The build up, we'd like to think that it's the end of this Ciampa Gargano thing. Just to finish that way as well was unbelievable. Like you said, the amount of times that they used previous experiences and adopted it into that match, fantastic, unbelievable. The storytelling of this match, fantastic. I'm kind of convincing myself right now that Ciampa and Gargano was the better match, but I just can't agree with you straight off the bat.
That's fine.
Without having to point out how good Gargano and Almas was.
That's perfectly understandable. But we can both agree on this though, based on his performances. Like we talk about this with in the same breath as Okada last year, where he was having all these great matches with Okada, with Shibata, with Suzuki and stuff like that. He is but Gargano for me is in the same is in that same category now that Okada is in last year. There's a strong argument for him being probably pound for pound the best wrestler in the world right now,
for sure.
In my view,
and obviously rightly so. A lot of people are saying that he should be promoted to the main roster.
Yeah,
I'd say no.
Does he need it? Like, he's run so far.
No. The only reason why I don't think he should go to the main roster is there is no way on the main roster he'll be given the time or be able to do the type of things that he does in NXT. No way would Vince McMahon allow a cruiserweight to have that much time.
No matter how good he is.
No matter how good he is, or to do the stuff that he's done. No way. The best place for him is with Triple H in NXT. He can move up to WWE when Vince is gone.
Surely, though, he's so good that they have to do a groundbreaking exception for him. He's too good.
We talked about Rusev earlier on.
Yeah,
Vince does not like organically over people,
but
Vince likes people he puts over.
But surely,
no, come on, you're not going to change. You're not going to change decades and decades of Vince's mindset.
It wasn't always his mindset.
This guy. But it is his now. Unless Johnny Gargano changes his name to Roman Reigns, gains a few inches in height, gets a few more tattoos, grows his hair out, and gets a bit more muscle, he's not getting anything near the type of time and the type of match quality he gets in NXT.
We can only speculate, I guess. We can only see what happens.
Yeah.
Now let's move on. We're only halfway through the results already, but now for the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania 34. I have to say, one thing about WrestleMania being in New Orleans is how catchy the theme songs are.
Yeah.
Or the music in general. Like, you know, I'm not one for Kid Rock's music, at least post 2000, if you like. But
yeah, exactly. I didn't even know.
Hall of Famer Kid Rock, but we should add.
Hall of Famer Kid Rock. But
you know, by his class.
Who couldn't be arsed to actually dress up for the ceremony?
Well, a lot of people say he looked like the Mrs. Da. Did you see that?
I can't describe what he looks like because it was just everything was just what.
Rockstar fashion. Anyway, WrestleMania 34.
It's not Rockstar.
Well, the fact is that he is a rockstar, he could get away with it, maybe. Anyway, beside the point, WrestleMania 34 taking place at the Mercedes Superdome in front of, what was it, 70-something thousand people? Like
78 or something.
It was some... Like, overall, I enjoyed WrestleMania, like, you have to say. We'll get straight to the shows anyway. Sorry, what?
The last hour, I think, wasn't great, but I think that was because a lot of the issues was the crowd was dead. Because it was so long. It was
long. Yeah. Like up till 5 in the morning here in Ireland anyway. That's how it went until it went on till. So
yeah.
The Andre the Giant Battle Royale we'll talk about first. So was what it was. Like any other Battle Royale.
I missed this because I was gone to the shop to get stuff for WrestleMania. I just heard that Matt won.
Yeah.
That's all.
So there was no NXT stars in this one for a change at all.
None at all. No. I thought I saw Almas at the start, but it was actually Matt. Because it looked like he was wearing the same attire as the night before.
Well, it was between in the end it was between Matt Hardy, Mojo Rawley and Baron Corbin. So Matt Hardy against the two previous winners until Bray Wyatt came out of nowhere. And then Hardy then as a result got rid of Mojo and Corbin. Then after the match, Bray and Matt hugged as a sad John Cena looked on. It was certainly what it was. It was a fun finish, but it's very curious to see what goes on now between Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, well,
I'm intrigued by it.
We saw what happened.
Yeah, but what beyond that was what I mean.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I wonder how long they'll keep it going before Bray probably more than likely definitely will turn.
Do you think it's like he's all hiding it and stuff like that?
Oh, for sure.
I was going to say though, but We'll talk about how it leads on to Raw later on, but Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight title. I was very disappointed this was pre-show, but it's still an awesome match for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because for me, this is the pinnacle of how the new 205 is right now. And these guys have been, as we talked about last week, the headliners for it. Like, you know, love Mustafa Ali's attire. How class was his light and edge and scare.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Loved all that, but it was an awesome match. Both knew each other like the back of their hands. Great layout of the match. Both works very hard. Ali's at the top rope in Spanish Fly, but he kept working hard and so many near falls after near falls. It was Alexander that literally destroyed his friend by back elbows, then put him away with the lumbar check for the new champion. And then here we are now. So it was a great babyface versus babyface match. So yeah, like, you know,
Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick, was actually crying at the end of it. Did you see that?
Yeah, because he shows his enthusiasm for 205 Live, which is a good thing.
And I like it.
The women's battle royale now, which had both Paige and Beth Phoenix in commentary. It's kind of strange though how here's Becky who got a separate entrance, and then everyone else massed in straight away.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. And then Sasha and Bayley got an entrance after it.
Pretty much, they got their entrance. So there's a good portion of NXT ladies in this. There was Tanara Conte, Kairi Sane, Peyton Royce, Devita Dive, Bianca Belair, and Dakota Kai.
Dorita Dive, wasn't it?
Yeah. But they all worked together as well at one stage.
Yeah.
Unlike the men's match, where they're not trying to tell resembling a story here, and they got a ton of fun, and they all like that. One shout out particular, Belair, which I'm very high praise for. Belair broke out with a 450.
Yeah.
So fair play to that though. So, but I loved the end of this match so much, where it was like what added to this match more so. Like I think the main key point of the match, I think, gone to the men's match was Matt Hardy had that intriguing conversation with the trophy, which led him to be a favourite.
Yeah.
Here's the story of the subplot of Bayley and Banks helps in this match. Because it becomes, because as most expected, it came down to the two of them, and then Bayley went for a handshake. Sorry, Banks went for a handshake. Bayley then smartened up and tossed her over, and she thought she won. Yeah. Then Naomi, who was never eliminated, came up, and Bayley was not happy. No, she was eliminated. No, and then Naomi got rid of her, and that was that.
Yeah,
it was a good match, though. I enjoyed the women's rumble way more than the men's one, I have to say.
I'd agree. I rewatched obviously the men's one on the a couple of days after, and yeah, it wasn't great.
Now, onto the main show. The Miz, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor for the IC title match. Love them, love the choice of openers from all of them. Love Seth's new attire.
Seth the White Walker.
Looks like a White Walker,
He's
yeah.
a White Walker.
Now, what's your view on the whole Balor for everyone thing at the moment? The way,
I don't see why people are making such a big deal.
neither do I. I think it's taking out proportion. I loved his entrance to do it actually, where the whole crowd were coming out and supporting him. I think that works.
Exactly, yeah. I'd agree with you. I think that. I think they were members of the LGBT community in New Orleans as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That works well. But as the match went on, the crowd were really invested into it. Though it works into a very basic triple threat formula where it's 2 in and 1 out with dives from Rollins and so on and so forth. But the pace was awesome. Very clean, smooth match. Nice spots involved. A lot of teases as well, with Rollins going for the barricade bomb as well, leading to renewing their rivalry going forward as well. And obviously Rollins hitting the superplex, and then Balor almost doing the callback of their recent matches. So it's that sort of thing. It goes back to we talked about of all the callbacks from the rivalries we talked about with Ciampa and Gargano. There's hints of that with Balor and Rollins. So that's a rivalry I'd love to see more of going forward for sure. Given they're both on the same on the show by the time we speak next week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They might not even be on the same show next week.
We'll have to see what happens. In the end, it was Miz hit a skull-crushing finale, but Balor hit a double stomp to break up things. Then Balor hits another, but Balor hits a curve stomp and then hits another for the win in a great opener. Yeah. Great match, hot crowds. Here's Amy, who was beside me, who's the biggest Seth Rollins fan. She was literally in tears at the end, so you can imagine. So
perfect match to start it off.
Well, speaking of Finn Balor sent a message to the Los Boat crowds, which by the way I had to give a huge shout out of because he did a fantastic job as always at WrestleMania parties. Great entertainment, start and finish, and obviously was awesome. I have to tell you, if you listen to the podcast, he also said that they'll remember for a chance called "Let's Go Back Up Sucks," where the show was on backup during the Rousey Triple H, the Rousey Kurtz. There's Triple H match, and there's a backup screen for box office in the middle of the screen. Yeah. It didn't take away from the match, but it was over for 10 minutes was a concern, but it develops that chance, and rather than be annoyed by it, they all made fun of it, so it goes to show you. Now, Charlotte versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title. Loved Charlotte's entrance, by the way. All decked out in gold coming out like that, so.
Yeah, kind of similar to when she was helping Triple H with his entrance at the last time WrestleMania was in New Orleans. Fantastic entrance. I think hers was probably my favourite entrance of the whole WrestleMania night.
Oh, I'm with you, 100%. Yeah. There's no more elegant one than that, surely, anyway. But
Asuka's was kind of more like
it was what it was.
It was more like a Blade Runner sort of thing, you know. I don't like those ones that are kind of just for TV only.
Yeah,
I want everybody to get the experience.
But I liked the match in the sense that it had a great sense of urgency. With Asuka controlling early, staying ahead of the champion, and then leading the attack until Charlotte eventually made the comeback, moonsaulting into a triangle, and showed great resilience. So what I liked about the match, although so many great spots, like Asuka hitting an apron suplex to the floor, my god, that hurts. Remember seeing that? And hitting the Spanish, and then Charlotte hitting the Spanish fly.
Yeah.
What was the last time you seen that?
The Spanish fly was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think it's normally associated with cruiserweights, but I've never seen the women do it before.
No, there you go. Some great intensity, and then until it got to the end where Charlotte did such a great arm selling the arm, so it was almost like a figure 7 that won the match in the end, where Charlotte tapped to it. Yeah. Everyone was shocked when we watched the match. And the thing is though, the way I see this match, I think it for me there's no better person to beat the streak than Charlotte, to me, without question. I questioned initially if it was the right time.
Why?
I wasn't. Well, I think if it leads to something down the line, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like with Charlotte and Rousey, for example, which has been heavily rumored now for after.
Yeah.
Then it would make sense. And to be fair, streaks are some could argue the streak is now taking too much of a life of its own over Asuka.
Yeah.
So maybe to break it is finally getting rid of that duck, and that's that now.
Definitely.
So maybe in that case it works.
I liked it for basically it was their closest thing to having a surprise win similar to the Undertaker's surprise loss.
It was certainly
the last New Orleans WrestleMania against Brock.
It wasn't as much. It was as much as a surprise. No, excuse me, it wasn't even close to surprise. But what I mean is, like, it was definitely...
was close to surprise.
No, what I mean is it's not close to Undertaker Brock. No, they'll ever beat that. But in terms of the most surprising show, it's I'll say second biggest surprise
of the night. Really? Okay.
Behind how amazing Ronda Rousey did, but we'll get into that a bit shortly.
Okay, now you have me confused even more.
How?
Because I thought your other surprise would have been the main event.
Well, now you mentioned it, could be up there. Anyway, after that match happened, a ref came out telling a fan, John Cena, that Undertaker is there.
I really didn't like that.
Do you think so?
I really didn't like that.
They didn't take away from Charlotte now. That's one thing.
I thought it was the bad thing to do. I didn't think they needed to do it during that match.
It wasn't during the match, though. It was straight after.
You know what I mean? Like, that's still, for me, until they move on, it's still part of the match. Because even the promo and stuff afterwards, I was like, no. Well, you could have done it like after one of the other matches that probably wasn't as shocking or didn't mean as much.
There was a funny meme about that as well, where it seems like no, it's okay, you're only kidding. Oh, but no, just cook in the bathrooms. Oh, off you go. Let's get into too much. Anyway, Randy Orton.
That picture of John Cena or the gif of John Cena running up the ramp is just taking on a life on its own.
like a lot of other gifs. Yeah. Now, Randy Orton.
Like the my one for it would be like when you see that Jinder is actually the champion again. John Cena running.
Well, speaking of that, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, and Mahal Rusev for the US title. Let's just talk about this very quickly. Like, Orton runs wild and RKO's just very quickly. Basically, long story short, Rusev is so popular he loses to Mahal to become champion. As you said earlier on, like, I'm starting to think that by that philosophy, yeah. Why they ruin Rusev Mania? Why? Well,
it didn't happen.
Well,
the match did not happen. The US title had been vacated just before WrestleMania. The US title does not exist anymore. It's taken away. It ended with Randy Orton just before WrestleMania, where the decision was made to get rid of the US title because they have the North American title now.
Let me stop you right there. And let's get on to the best match of the night, in my opinion. Let me acknowledge the US title. I've invited you to that. I'm uninvited to do that, okay?
You're going to need to get a bleep for this, but Jinder. Seriously. And I shouldn't even say that about Jinder because it's not his fault.
Yeah, it's the way he's booked. Simple as that.
Yeah, you know what? Get another one ready. Vince. Right? Jesus Christ. Oh. And then the booking that they made for SmackDown. Well, I'll get on to that when we get over to SmackDown. Don't you worry. I'll get on to that. But let's move on to something that made me happy. Let's get on to this
Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Loved all their entrances. Like Triple H and Steph coming out in motorcycles.
I couldn't get it out of my head. There was I think it's one of the guys that does the Simpsons like wrestling meme page.
Yeah.
He did like, oh, here comes here comes Triple H and Stephanie, and it's when Homer buys a motorcycle, and then his other friends like have a lawnmower and a bicycle and stuff like that. It's so brilliant. We're all in this little gang. It's so good.
I have to say though, Triple H now, I only found this, like, considering his age, he's 48 years old now.
Yeah.
He's probably in the best shape ever.
Yeah, but he's 48 years old. Just think he can get rid of the training wheels off the bike, maybe. Yeah. And drive an actual bike, maybe.
How awesome was Ronda Rousey's gear?
Class.
Like Piper inspired mini kilts and all. Yeah. Class it was like so. But no, this was an awesome match. Like, and
she got a great reaction.
Oh my god! Yeah, but like even after the match, there was endless cheers of Ronda Rousey. Yeah. So
she proved that in that match. Like, they had to wait a little bit of time. Obviously, like I thought it was going to go this way in terms of it was mostly going to be Angle and Triple H.
But what she did so well as well, even when she was taunting with Triple H, I loved stuff like that where he's on the outside. I'm like, oh, you just watch now. I just go beat up your wife, like, you know, just stuff like that. But the match it was so well played out, like, you know, angle locking.
It was the longest match of the night as well.
It was, which, by the way, I found an interesting fact about that. for the last 10 WrestleManias, I think. In 8 of those occasions, Triple H's match has been the longest one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Indeed. But anyway, like, you know, there's so many awesome spots. The crowd are mental for this whole match because Steph, like, they made it a bit competitive with Steph, I have to say. Like, Stephanie played her part in this match. There's no question about that. We have to give her all the credit in the world for that.
Yeah.
But like the stuff with like when I loved when Rousey was stepping up to Triple H, striking him and getting that thing where she actually did stepped over her into like a fireman's carry.
Yeah,
that's incredible. But like she was just so slick and everything.
Yes,
I can't speak highly enough of how good it was. And eventually, in the end, it was Angle took out Triple H with the ankle lock, and Stephanie armbarred Steph. Triple H managed to roll Angle into Rousey for the break. The boss took control, posting the opponents and looking for pedigrees, but they foiled, and Rousey got the armbar, and Steph tapped out immediately.
Yeah, broke her arm.
Literally broke her arm, but it was such a brilliantly laid out match. Yeah, like way better than probably any of us thought.
Yeah,
any of us thought. This over delivered. This match shouldn't have been the best match, but it was. And he did such a good job, so I cannot wait to see how, like, and again we talked, and we were this was the biggest mystery or the biggest thing going into this match. One of the biggest intriguing points: how good is Ronda Rousey as a wrestler? And she is, and she's only been training how long? Not long. Probably that's probably
6 months. Maybe.
And she's saying what she's going to be like next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing now, and this is going to be the challenge for her, is what's next.
Indeed. Certainly at this point, what's next?
Who is she put up against next?
Have to see what happens. Could be anybody.
I'd like to see what she could do on a week-to-week basis, because if you want to be really critical about this, and I don't like saying this part, but let's be honest, it's true.
Yeah.
She had how many months to practice for this match to get those things down? I'd like to see her now going week to week to see if she can actually keep that level of talent consistently week by week in matches on Raw.
I don't think she's been training specifically for one match now. Like, imagine she's been training.
No, she was training, I say, for wrestling in general. But I'd say about 2-3 months leading up to that. You know how Macho Man used to have go through like every spot on a match with someone before WrestleMania, so it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That's what she was like planning, I'm guessing, for the match on Sunday. Doesn't take away from the fact that it was amazing, because you still have to do it there in the ring, in front of everybody. And it's the first time I've ever seen her approach a ring before a match and actually smile as well, by the way.
Yeah.
I've never seen her do that before. It was kind of a little weird. But like that's why I want to see her going now, having matches week by week with people, and seeing if she can change things up to keep things interesting, and they're not all going to be like squashes or anything like that. I'm guessing they will be, because they have to keep her really, really strong.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see.
We'll see. The Usos and the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown tag team titles. New Day coming out dressing up as coming out of the groups with a bunch of little people dressed up as sacks of pancakes.
If anyone did decide to take drugs just before that match happened, they would have been tripping balls. They would have been tripping such balls.
I think the crowd were knackered after when this match was on, like, you know. So, yeah. But
that's probably why it didn't last long either.
You're right. So, and for me, it was the right call. I think following that match where Bludgeon Brothers just came in and dominated, they quickly took out everybody, and Super Killer Bomb finished off Kofi, and that was that. So, be interesting to see who goes up against them, because the way they've been booked, I'm interested to see what happens from here. John Cena versus The Undertaker. So Cena's back in with his gear. The ref tells him the Taker isn't there. He leaves, and then the lights go out, and who arrives? Elias.
Yep.
We tell Cena that to leave.
It was meant to be in the Battle Royale and never was.
Yeah, so I figured he has to be involved somewhere, or maybe it was performance somewhere down the line. He couldn't leave Elias out of WrestleMania. He sings a tune, but running down the lights of the fans, and Cena attacks, does his AA and so on and so forth, and the crowd chant Undertaker, but he doesn't arrive. Cena leaves like a sad panda. Lights go down again. Taker's hat and coat are in the ring. Lighting hits them, disappears. Gong.
Yeah, that was a great way of bringing them back. I love that.
And a terrified Cena then basically just got his ass kicked by Taker. It was just it was basically just as
Cena jobbed out. John Cena got buried. Taker's shovel is bigger than Cena's.
it was that taste.
Taker's shovel is bigger than Cena's. Oh, would you imagine?
I'm okay with it overall.
I am too, if it leads to something more.
I don't think this leads to anything
I
else.
think it's going to lead to an actual match next year.
Next year.
I think it is. I'm hoping it is, because I'm going to be at it, so I want to see a proper match at it. You know, Cena's going to say, like, I think in the next couple of weeks, saying, look, listen, I wasn't prepared for what Taker actually brings to WrestleMania. The energy, the euphoria, the everything, the mysteriousness.
Yeah.
You know, I became overwhelmed by it. I couldn't get my things going. I officially challenged Undertaker to a match next year. I am going to prepare like I've never prepared for a match before, and I am going to beat the the usual where you go, I'm beat the Undertaker next year at WrestleMania.
Where's my Undertaker? Where's my Undertaker? We'll see what happens. Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. With the stipulation of Zayn and Owens winning to go back to SmackDown. Oh, the look of Daniel Bryan's face as he soaked it all in and walked out there.
Yeah.
That's another moment. Daniel Bryan coming out. And by God, it's like he never left.
Yeah.
He is slick as hell.
Yeah.
And what I loved as well is that even when if you notice the ways he doesn't take any bumps in particular, like the corner drop kicks in particular, where he clinged onto the ropes afterwards.
Yeah.
He knows how to deal around it, like, so it's awesome. But by God, it was really good to see him back. Like, the loss keeps Sami and Kevin now off SmackDown, so that could be something with the shakeup perhaps. But we after seeing it from Raw, we honestly don't know. But
well, from what we heard on Raw, I think TNA are looking for people.
Oh God, that's such a good line that Kurt Angle ever meant. In the end, it was the knee strike and the S-lock to finish it off, and that was that. So it was an awesome match. Like, it was great heat coming in. That match delivered for me. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title. Now, Sami was considering the story, it was almost appropriate that Jax quickly squashed Bliss to get her revenge, and that's what I thought originally. Instead, Jax took out Mickie James and pulled her out of the floor, basically just killing her, and then it's just between the two of them.
Yep.
So no getting
right
away
thing
from
to
it.
do, get the other obstacle out of the way, and so then you can just focus on who you need to.
And again, it played to the match gone to storyline, like the whole overcoming bullying thing, it looked like it was going. It was talked about. So
exactly.
But no, fair play. Like they worked hard. The crowd probably were lost in this. Like, if I again gone back to the Daniel Bryan match probably. But fair play to Jax. Like, she overpowered Mitt Bliss, won about a second rope Samoan drop, which basically squashed the Jaces out.
That twist of Bliss to the outside was unbelievable as well.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Like, Alexa was fantastic in this match too. She played her role really well.
Absolutely.
And I'm actually delighted Nia got the title in the end.
Yeah.
Delighted.
Now, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. Their long-awaited rematch from Wrestle Kingdom. And one that probably many of us hoped up would, that probably was you could argue probably the most anticipated match by the hardcore fans going to this match.
Yeah.
Both got their special, like, I love Nakamura's special entrance, obviously. The crowd were hot when they locked
I wasn't a fan of it.
The whole match?
No, we'll get into the match, but I wasn't a fan of Nakamura's entrance.
Oh, I liked that.
If it's Nakamura's entrance, you got to be playing just violin. The guitar solo.
That's different.
No, it didn't work. Didn't work. And you know my problem with Nakamura's intro. And he still did it. On the grandest stage of them all, everyone watching, you think they'd have him do it in time with the music. No.
That's not even an issue anymore for me. It's that horse left the barn ages ago.
It still grinds my gears, Dave.
Now.
He did it so well in
Okay. Now, this match. It was a good match.
I was disappointed.
You're not the only one.
Yeah,
You're not the only one.
I put it out on the show's Twitter as well after the match was finished, and I still stand by it. I think this match suffered because of the hype. I think the hype killed this match.
One could argue, and I can't believe I'm saying this about Nakamura, one could argue he's maybe not the same Nakamura we've seen from New Japan.
No, this is WWE style Nakamura, and it can't be the same person. I think that's also a big factor into why the match
overall.
No, I wouldn't say failed, because it was still a decent match.
The work was fine.
It was still a decent match, but it wasn't up to the levels that we hoped or expected, because WWE style and New Japan style.
It seems like he only turns up for the big matches. One could argue, and I feel there's a bit of complacency in there with him now.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe it's due to the fact that he's been told he can't do that match that he wants, and he's upset by it. Maybe in his head he had an idea for a great match. Like, we would have seen it, like, obviously, because
that's
New
a good
Japan
point.
released.
That's a good point. Yeah,
yeah, because he's been wrestling the New Japan way for years, and since he came to WWE, I think maybe he's been shocked by how much he's been restricted, if you know what I mean, in terms of having the types of matches that he'd like. Yeah,
it's kind of strange though, where the only story I got onto this match is that WWE are saying it's a dream match.
Yeah.
And yet it was Styles.
It was meant to be though.
It was.
Obviously not for the first time ever, which they kept saying as well.
Which it definitely wasn't.
It definitely wasn't, you know.
Anyway, it was Styles who countered.
That's what WWE. People have the internet now. They can see.
Yes. How ironic that New Japan put up that dream match.
That was genius.
Yeah. Styles countered the King Shasta into the Styles Clash to retain the title in the end. And then post-match, Nakamura hands Styles the title and then blows him turning heel, hitting the King Shasta on the floor and basically kicking the Jesus out of him.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is a great move. I think
it's the move that they had to make.
And I look forward to this.
I told you Vince didn't like a face versus face. I told you.
Yeah, but that was after. This is now.
Yeah, I thought it was going to have to lead to it at some point.
Yeah, but you didn't expect Nakamura, did you?
No, I would have hoped for AJ, because I like AJ as a heel, but I'm optimistic of Nakamura as a heel.
Well, after seeing what he did on Smackdown,
exactly.
We'll get onto that shortly. The Bar versus Braun Strowman and Nicholas.
For this not Trent Seven. Not No Way Jose.
Not Bobby Lashley.
Who he passed by going through the crowd. Not the Big Show.
Not Minoru Suzuki.
No. Not Okada.
Not Katie Ray.
No.
Nicholas.
But Nicholas. Referee Jack Cohn's son, by the way.
Yeah, I heard about that actually, yeah.
Now, do you not support, but do you... A lot of people got salty over this.
It's mixed opinion, I agree.
Yeah. And unfortunately, a few well-known indie stars got a bit salty about it as well.
Like who?
I think, who was it? Mark Haskins put up a tweet where he wasn't happy about the decision to use Nicholas instead of, like, you know, using wrestlers who applied their trade there for years.
Yeah.
Someone else, I can't remember who else it was. But I don't support that idea that you should be salty towards it. This kid is living out a dream right now. An absolute dream.
Yeah, he's already booked for George Janela's Spring Break 3.
Listen, I've tried. I've already started the ball rolling and tried to get him involved in Scrapper Mania, so I'm trying.
Yeah, seen that.
But like, why are you hating on this kid so much? He just, if that was you, no matter what age you were, and if you're told before the match, listen, do you want to be part of WrestleMania?
I think
you would say yes. Hell yes.
I think people would be disappointed because it feels like it's a bit of a waste for the Bar.
For the Bar, yes, and obviously for what happened the day after, I can understand their point of view. But look, it's a WrestleMania moment, you know. That's what it's for. It's a WrestleMania moment, and just guys, just like it. Not, you don't have to like it, but why are you going after the kid so much? Why do people go after the kids? It's not his fault.
They blame the people they see instead of the people they don't see.
Exactly.
We'll move on to the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, the Universal title. Now, to be fair, this wasn't a bad match. Like, the work was very good in this match.
Yeah.
I think so, anyway. There's a few things I don't get.
Apart from the botch.
Oh, Jesus, that was a horrible cuss.
Not that botch.
Oh, the one on the table.
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrible as well. But that cut on his head, it looked like Wolfpack Sting after at the end of the match.
Stop.
He looked like Wolfpack Sting.
He did.
Think about it, the red face with the black.
He did. You're right. He did. Who was I think Peter was watching it there with me, and he fully believed that actually that was fake blood.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a pack or something. I was like, no way is that a pack, man. That is flowing too quickly and too regularly for that to be fake. But yeah.
But one thing I don't get about this match is you've sacrificed guys like Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman of one F5, and here's Roman Reigns who survived 5, or sorry 4 or survived until he eventually lost. That I don't guess.
I don't understand it either.
Like, you know, I would have liked to think the F5 is up there with like the One Winged Angel in terms of its significance as a finisher, but it kind of takes away from it in that sense.
Exactly.
Now, apparently, the booking in this match was only changed literally last minute, according to rumor.
Rumors.
Yeah,
all rumors
concerning Roman, especially concerning Brock Lesnar's recent resign to WWE.
I don't know. I think it's just Vince trolling us all.
Yeah.
Really
After all this hype for over, this was hyped for the best part of a year.
Yeah.
Almost like last Monday year to today.
Yeah, Vince just pulled a swear on us.
Basically.
Yeah. He just did what he wanted to do. And I think, like, initially when I saw the day after with the announcement that the steel cage match is happening in Saudi Arabia, I thought, right, he's doing that because he'll get a better reaction winning it in Saudi Arabia than he would at WrestleMania.
In America.
Yeah. Not America, international, because it's an international crowd at WrestleMania.
Now, to be fair, this was a pretty...
I didn't hear so many boos, though, when he came out.
It was a good, intense and physical match. I'll give it the credit. I'll give it its due there.
Yeah.
But the fact is, no one reacted. That reaction wasn't there. Simple as that.
But, again, it's not down to the match. It was because... It's 7 hours. Like, who would you expect to be going mad for 7 hours?
Well, let's put it this way: when we saw it on in Low Blows after the Nakamura AJ match, everyone's here like, "Oh, listen, I've had my fill." Like,
exactly. Like,
most hardcore fan, like, listen,
I saw
certainly for us, we're watching it till 5 a.m.
Yeah,
like,
I saw, and that's what a lot of international crowds are doing, apart from the US, really.
Yeah,
you know, I know a few people that went to the parties, and I saw like either their Snapchats or their Instagram posts of them leaving the show early. You know, and even Low Blows put up a picture saying like, look, when you have to do 7 hours, and a lot of people had already left.
Yeah,
you know, it's asking too much.
Way much.
It's asking way too much. Do you remember when it used to be 3 hours and we thought that was long?
We're so spoiled when it comes to wrestling, aren't we? You don't realise it sometimes.
For sure.
Overall, I enjoyed WrestleMania, though, I have to say.
I did. If you take the 2 main title matches out of it, I'm being deadly serious, I think it would have been a fantastic pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But I think it was too disappointing. The 2 main matches, the 2 matches you're building everything on, apart from obviously
on that case, you'd be more disappointed on AJ Nakamura, because that's a match that was built as a dream match. That, for all reasons, should have delivered, but didn't. Yeah,
exactly. It should have delivered, but it didn't. But then again, I don't know. Maybe are we expecting more from Brock and Roman?
I have no idea. I honestly don't know.
Are we more disappointed that we were all wrong with our prediction, or are we disappointed with the match? I think a lot of people are more disappointed because they thought they were being smart, thinking, oh, Roman's definitely winning. And then when they were proven wrong, that's when they got a little upset about it. I think it's more that than
We
the actual
both-
match being poor.
We both wanted Roman to win that match.
Yeah.
So
Not wanted, expected.
well, I wanted it big time
Yeah.
because I'm probably one of a good portion of fans who's fed up with Brock at this stage being Universal Champion by booking or whatever reason and stuff like that. Like so, but and I'd rather Roman Reigns be champion any day of the week over him.
Yeah.
So, but it's almost like is it like. But I just get the sense, like at this stage, it's like, you know, all that lead up is just thrown away, and for Lesnar, boggles the minds.
The payoff doesn't fit the build.
And
I know what you mean.
Long story short, it doesn't. Okay, so we still have a few more results to bring up. After a short break, we're going to continue on with Monday Night Raw.
In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grolix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grolix Podcast. Listen to it at grolixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
We're back here on the Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides. You can find us on Twitter at the Kickout Live, on Instagram at the Kickout Wrestling, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Kickout Wrestling. We're very tight for time now, so we'll quickly get on to the remaining parts of WWE, starting with WWE Raw.
Welcome to Monday Night Raw.
So as I said, we're tight for time, so we'll try and get on to... Although it's very detailed Raw this week, as you can imagine, because it's the day after WrestleMania, but we'll try and get into as much as we can. Stephen Rousey,
Did the thing, she broke her arm again.
No bridge has been built there. Stephanie being incredibly delusional.
Yeah.
As you would be, but...
Thinking you're going to be mates. Who would in their right mind think that, oh, this person just beat me up, that means I'm their mate?
Yeah.
When has that ever been a thing?
Broken arm again, so you deserve a chance. Nia Jax came out with a great reaction. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James arrived saying that Nia's the bully. She throws her weight around. She lost because Mickie got attacked and you don't have any friends or partner. And then Nia introduced Amber Moon as her partner.
The first person to get called up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moon did the clips on Bliss for the match. Good story. Great debut for Moon. Braun Strowman and Nicholas relinquished the tag titles.
Oh,
They promised, but I love what Braun did afterwards. That they promised that when he finishes school, he'd return for the belts. And then Nicholas says, "So someone can get these hands." It was nice.
It was nice. It was nice.
No
it
way.
was a nice comedic moment with he's in the 4th grade.
No Way Jose made his main roster debut.
Yeah, that's a surprise call-up.
That doesn't surprise me at all, actually.
I think he is more like Elias. He's more catered to, I think, to a bigger crowd.
Exactly. That's why I think if he plays his cards right, he could have a very long career in WWE. He has that crowd-pleasing style. So I'm more than okay with that. The Good Brothers took on the Revival with the winners to challenge for the Raw Tag Team titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
In the end, it was Revival who took down Gallows, and then the Shatter Machine finished Sanderson. Balor, Rollins, and Miz had a segment where obviously Rollins is delighted now that he won the IC title, and he's now happy that all members of the Shield are now Grand Slam champions. He's now Grand Slam Rollins, which is a nice chance. Finn Balor came out congratulating Rollins. He meant he was the better man, but made it clear that he didn't lose the match, and he wants to be the first challenger of Rollins. Then out comes Miz, who said he's the one who deserves the title because he made it relevant, and how he's all a rematch, and they can do it right now, but Miz refused and said they'll do it at Backlash. Miz then proposed a handicap match between him and the Mr. Raj against Balor and Rollins, but out came Jeff Hardy to return, playing off their tag match later on. Sasha Banks took on Mandy Rose. In the end, it was there was still back and forth between Sasha and Rose, where Banks followed an attack, but Rose shoved Bayley into Banks. Then Rose hit a spinning knee strike for the win. So it was a good match, but it continues the rivalry between Sasha and Bayley. Afterwards, Bayley announced her in-ring retirements.
You mean Paige?
Paige, excuse me, what did I say?
You said Bayley.
Paige. Excuse me. Paige announced her in-ring retirement, thanking all the women's stars. She's delighted that she's part of it, thanked her family, and thanks Daniel Bryan for coming back, giving her hope to return, and thanking Edge, who she spoke to during the backstage, showing her that there's more to life outside of wrestling. And now she has to find something else to do. it's turned out she found something in wrestling. We'll get into that a bit shortly. But it's a sad.
Whatever could it be?
It's a sad moment, though. Like, you know, Paige is so young. It
was a really, really tough moment. Delighted that she could actually go out to choose the way she wanted to.
Yeah.
I, like a lot of people, initially thought when she stayed back to go on the mic, we were like, oh, we're getting another one of those feckin' trailers about her film, isn't it? And then we were all kind of bamboozled by her decision to... We knew it was coming anyway, but it still didn't make it any easier.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, at least she's now still involved, which is awesome.
Exactly.
Elias did a bit of a song. Like, I love the song where there's like Elias called them all scumbags, and then they're like, "Where you are, scumbags?" But he's so good with some of the songs. The last lyric he says, "I travel near and far to come to this place, but as you clap, I want to punch you in the face." It's brilliant. Out comes Bobby frickin' Lashley. Yeah. So that was the pop of the night.
Well, he was kind of spoiled beforehand. Did you not see the picture that was leaked?
I heard about that. Yeah,
a picture was leaked of one of the monitors. They were going through like the tests and stuff like that of the Titantron and everything, and Bobby Lashley's name was there.
AOP, Officer Payne, made their main roster debut against Slater and Rhino, basically destroying them with the last in quick time, finishing off with the last chapter. That's a qualifier as well now for the greatest Royal Rumble match. Then post, or was it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, sorry, it was a separate match. Excuse me. No, I'm thinking of a different match. My mistake. But after the match, they split with Paul Ellering. Yeah,
due to the fact that he's so old.
Now, I'm thinking the reason he for that is because maybe Ellering doesn't want to work the main stage schedule.
Yeah, he's 65. It's asking too much of him.
Yeah, so, and I think AOP are at that stage now, certainly promo-wise. Have you seen the promo they did post-Raw?
Yeah, they don't need them. They're fine. They'll be just fine.
Roman Reigns then came out saying that he's still gone back and forth with the whole Brock thing, saying that everything felt off and Vince could look him in the eyes, and he put over Brock as a businessman, teasing he's going to UFC only to resign, and found out about his rematch on the internet, but promised to beat Brock and win the title. Out came Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
I loved his promo so much.
Joe is is probably the best guy Raw have on the mic.
You could say that, yeah. This is what he said. Joe runs down Reigns, thinking that he's a conspiracy. He claims that Brock exposed him. Reigns ran his mouth, and despite all the talk, Reigns still failed. He lied to himself, and every time he faces Brock, he just gets destroyed, while Brock gets richer. And Reigns always has excuses, while Brock will do the same in their rematch. And Joe will be waiting the backlash to put him to sleep. It's just beautiful promos. Promos. This was the second tag team qualifier. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt against Titus Worldwide. Sister Abigail and Twist of Fate. That was that. It happened. The team won.
Pretty much that is exactly how it went. Well done, actually. Well described.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were looking to go to TNA to face each other in a winner joins Raw sort of match.
Yeah, loser goes to TNA.
If you like. It was a good back and forth match, as they always have. They always have kick-ass matches. Sammy followed up the Hoover kick after Kevin hit the Twisted Fisherman Buster for a double down, but both weren't able to beat the counts. And that's that. No one won it. Almost predictable.
Yeah. They're going to keep it going for a while.
And then finally, Jeff Hardy, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor took on Miz and his Miztourage. Whisper of the wins, then Rollins gets the tag, flies in, hits Blockbuster, follows with a suicide dive, dumps Miz, then hits for another dive, back in, Rollins misses a chance, but Rollins hits the superplex and does a deal over the Falcon Arrow, breaks down, and Balor hits a tope, curve stomp, finishes Miz, and then it's basically a finished parade on the Miztourage after the match is there. So let's go, hope shows go there. This is like the quickest Raw review or WWE review we're ever doing right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Nice and snappy, only at WrestleMania weekend. Let's move on to Smackdown.
On to the Rock Show, to the premier show, Smackdown.
Shane made comments about how delighted he was with WrestleMania, and put over the fact that they got to get rid of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and got to work with Daniel Bryan, but then said that now Bryan will now be a full-time in-ring WWE superstar and has resigned as GM of SmackDown, and appointed Paige as a new SmackDown GM.
Great. Love it.
Love the chant of "This
Love
is
it.
your house" from the crowds, by the way, on that. So that was pretty awesome. And as our first duty, she announced that Daniel Bryan will take on AJ Styles.
Love it. She was teasing with the idea for a while. Everyone was saying Rusev, and that's one of the things. That was the chant that was muted by WWE on their YouTube. The videos that they have on YouTube of the highlights of SmackDown.
Yeah.
They deleted Rusev Day, and they put AJ Styles in instead.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yep, told you. Vince does not like people getting over organically.
New Day took on the Usos, winners to face the Bludgeon Brothers at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Good back and forth match.
Usual fantastic
awesome
match.
as they always are. Like Big E dropped the straps, look for the Midnight Hour, but the Usos fire back for super kick on Jimmy. Jay hit the 2-by frog splash, picked up the win, and that was that.
Yeah.
Naomi took on Natalya. Good match, but I'm saying this could be a change for Natalya to go to Raw. The way I'm saying this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where Natalya hit the speedball kicks, but Asuka hit a sit-out powerbomb. Naomi fights back the sharpshooter, but Naomi hits a rolling there for 2. Natalya hits a rolling there for 2. Naomi fell into Gary and split legs moonsaults for the win, and that's that. This is one of the best promos of the whole weekend, where Renee Young does Shinsuke Nakamura, interviews Shinsuke Nakamura about his actions in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He basically said a version of this.
I'm so sorry.
In Shinsuke Nakamura's way.
Pretty much.
Before Renee called him out for being disingenuous, and then he just claimed he didn't speak English.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I love heel Nakamura.
Everyone loves heel Nakamura now. And if he keeps it going this way, I'm all on board for it.
Yeah. Charlotte then came out saying that Asuka's the toughest challenge ever, and that, but she's likely still the champion. And that she said the match she had with Asuka was magical. Then wants to know who else she'll make magic with. Out came the Iconics, not the Iconic Duo, the Iconics.
It's gonna take a bit of time for that name to.
I'm okay with it.
For me to get accustomed to that name.
It's either copyrights, so I have to change it. So give them credit where it's due.
Why do they have to change it?
I actually don't know exactly why. I think the Iconic Duo has something to do with. I don't know where it is, but there you go.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Royce knows a couple of wizards who can make her title disappear straight away, right off the bat. And they mock Charlotte about her promo, and Charlotte's not amused. They claim they are the future, while Charlotte is the past. Charlotte tries to attack him, but he basically gets beaten down. Tossed over the announce table. Posted, claimed on the steps, and power bombs on the floor. When they stand tall in the ring, out comes then Carmella. And after a long time for it to cash in, the referee took a while. Are you sure?
Not know what's going on. Like,
are you sure you want to cash in? Are you sure now?
What do you want to do again?
Are you sure now?
What is that?
Are you sure about that?
What do you want to do?
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, you want to cash it in?
Let's do it.
Okay. Are you sure? All right then. Hold on. I'll just get the bell ready for you. Hold on. Hold on. I said hold on.
Super kick, new women's champion.
Ding. Yeah.
There you go. I'm delighted now. It's come full circle.
Fantastic.
Bobby,
our interview later on where she nearly broke down was fantastic.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode versus Rusev versus Orton. I don't even know who won this match, but to be honest with you, I actually don't even care.
Randy won because he's going to be facing Jinder
again.
Because what have we done wrong, Dave, to get this program again?
I have no idea.
What have we done wrong?
It's upsetting.
Like, in what sense did the first program between these two work so well that we need to see it again?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't want to talk. Let's not talk about it any further, please. Now.
Unbelievable.
AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Awesome match up to that point.
Daniel Bryan's new style is interesting.
I like. Yeah, it works for him though, doesn't it?
It's more of a mat-based submissions. What he was practicing doing in that Total Bellas TV show.
Yay!
Yeah.
And Styles went up top, and Styles continued the bait to back superplex, and then Nakamura arrived. King shasted Bryan for the DQ.
Are you the same where, like, if any time Daniel Bryan gets anything done to his head, you're kind of like, oh.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. So, but it was a good match, and it didn't look like, again, Bryan smooth and timed perfectly. All went well. But now I'm enjoying this Nakamura, because this could lead to Bryan versus Nakamura. Yeah. Or AJ with Nakamura again. I love this.
Triple threat.
Easily.
Triple threat. Now, I don't think This week we're going to have time to go through NXT or 205 Live.
We'll just mention very briefly though. We'll just say that Buddy Murphy made a ruined Cedric Alexander celebration on 205 Live, and NXT War Machine made their debut.
War Raiders.
Or War Raiders now. So we'll leave it at that.
Not a very popular name. Usual NXT where they recap the takeover. But as a special last segment on the show this week, with the Superstar Shakeup happening on Monday and Tuesday,
right?
Me and Dave have both given 10 names each, 5 going to Raw, 5 going to SmackDown.
Okay.
And we're going to share our lists with each other because we haven't actually seen it yet. Mm-hmm. So Dave, I'm going to let you go first.
Right.
And I want your 5 names that are superstars going from SmackDown to Raw.
SmackDown to Raw. From SmackDown to Raw, I have Baron Corbin, Breeze Dango, Natalya, and Bobby Roode.
That's 4.
No, it's 5. Breeze Dango's 2.
Oh, you're saying 2. Okay. Alright, fine. That's okay. I've gone for 5. You've taken a lot of mine. You've taken first 2 are the same. Baron Corbin and Breeze Dango. But I put Breeze Dango as a combination.
So have I.
Naomi.
Okay.
Instead of Natalya.
All right.
Bobby Roode is going to Raw. And I think this one might work. Becky Lynch.
I was thinking about Becky.
Becky Lynch might go over to Raw.
Could work.
Yeah. Give her some new matchups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raw to SmackDown.
Raw to SmackDown. I'll go first. This one is more of a fantasy one. This one to start out with because I'd love to see it happen.
All right.
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Finn Balor go to SmackDown. The Revival.
Interesting.
Yeah. They haven't done it on Raw. I think if they move to SmackDown, I think they have a better chance of actually getting themselves as one of the main tag teams in the division.
Right.
Asuka.
Okay.
I think could be going over to SmackDown. I think she'll be helping Charlotte against the Iconics.
Right.
4.
I can only guess.
This one. Elias.
Oh, okay.
Elias. Yes.
Didn't expect that.
Elias to go over. I think that could be something interesting. And then number 5.
It's obvious.
Who?
Surely.
Who?
The Miz?
No.
No.
I didn't think of The Miz. I thought because
How could you not think of The Miz?
I didn't think it would happen. I thought he'd just stay where he is. They might do that after. They do one after SummerSlam. They might do it then.
Oh, okay.
4 is... My next one's Braun Strowman.
Okay.
Braun Strowman would be in better position to go over to SmackDown and to go for titles because they've messed him up on Raw. Start afresh on SmackDown.
Okay.
You know?
I'm going to go with Asuka.
Okay.
The Good Brothers, Gaz and Anderson.
Okay.
The Miz. Him and Brian have to happen.
Yeah, okay. But I thought they'd save that.
And Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy. Interesting. I thought Jeff Hardy as well, but I thought he's only have to come back to Raw. Might as well. Like, if they were going to do him moving to SmackDown, he would have showed up next week.
Yeah.
He would have came back this week.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens anyway, either way.
Yeah.
Anyway, we haven't got much time left, so unfortunately that's all the time we have for this week on the Kickouts.
Would love to discuss that more, but we'll have to wait until next week.
Indeed. So that's all we have time for this week on the Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides, right here on 90.3 Near FM on the EMC network and all good podcasting boys. We're unable to talk about all the Irish previews. That's what we had in mind since that, but we'll try and make we'll mention more in detail next week.
Very quick best look to everybody at contenders. I know you're going to knock it out of the park.
Indeed.
Can't wait for the NLW Championship to start.
Yeah. Anyway, make sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Kickout Wrestling, on Twitter The Kickout Live, on our Instagram at The Kickout Wrestling, my Twitter Dave Bandana, Dara's at
Mars Bar.
And that's basically it. So from myself and Daragh, I've been Dave Cullen, he's been Daragh Maher. You can tell we're in a hurry. This has been The Kickout. Thank you so much for listening.